Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning,
Yeah,
guys.
you will be doing throwing a lot of stuff by the end of the day.
I am not happy.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
Really?
Happy.
But I'll check back with you in about a month. See if you were even happier.
I'll check back with you in about 6 months and see who won the Super Bowl.
Stop doing that, Skip.
Just
Oh,
wait.
I see you
Just
got a
wait.
new.
Watch,
Look at it.
watch and weep.
You get a new
not
car,
new.
new
It's
Trying to be
suit.
nice
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here.
Yeah,
Said he's in a bad mood.
new.
Yes,
Not
Skip.
happy. Okay.
That's not a new suit.
It's not a new
You
suit.
feel
I
very-
have worn it sitting in this chair
You
before.
feel very comfortable.
I
saying
don't
it.
discard my suits after each show like somebody
I don't
across
either.
from me.
Everybody got new stuff on. Jenny got on turquoise, new. You got a new
jealous?
suit.
Big day.
Skip.
Big day. We got a lot to talk about.
Just observe it. That's all.
It looks nice. It looks
Not
nice.
happy.
We're going to have to figure out why you're unhappy. We have a lot to get to. How much is Dak worth? We're going to go there. How much pressure is now on Anthony Davis? But we are going to start with Ezekiel Elliott. He is not at Cowboys training camp and will reportedly be training in Cabo instead. Must be nice. Zeke also spent time there when he was suspended in 2017. A Cowboys source told NFL Network that it's, quote, not a good look for Zeke to be going to Cabo. In a move that may or may not be related, Dallas signed former Pro Bowl running back Alfred Morris yesterday. Also yesterday, Jerry Jones made some very interesting comments about Zeke's holdout. Take a listen.
You don't have to have a rushing champion to win a Super Bowl, but Emmett was the first one to do it. And that's one of the dilemmas at running back, is that the league knows that you can win Super Bowls and not have the Emmitt Smith back there or not have Zeke back there. Consequently, when we are looking and putting Zeke's contract in place, we've got to realize that the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. And so you've got to do all of the things along with having Zeke that allow you to have other players so that you can win the Super Bowl. And that's what we're going through.
Oh, Jerry. Shannon, what do those comments from Jerry mean?
Jerry is upset because he knows Zeke is the one big apple that can upset the cart. He knows that. Skip Bayless knows that. And a lot of Cowboy fans know that. That's why Jerry's lashing out. Now, Jerry brought the team, what, Skip, 88? He brought the team in 88? 89? Now, when has Jerry Jones ever been concerned with what the league thinks? Do you realize in the 90s, when Jerry Jones did a unilateral deal with Nike for the jerseys, all other teams had a Coke deal, Jerry did Pepsi. Skip, did you know Ticketmaster is the official ticket broker of the NFL? And Jerry's with SeatGeek. Now, all of a sudden, Jerry is concerned about what the league thinks. You're right. Emmitt Smith, Skip, did you know that the Cowboys, their 3 Super Bowl wins, who the NFL's leading rusher was in all 3 of those seasons? The last guy to do it, it's only been done 4 times. Terrell Davis was the last to do it in 2008.
You were there.
I happened to be there.
Yep.
Had a front row seat to that.
And by the way, those are the only 4 times that the rushing champion has also won the Super Bowl.
But guess what?
So that's only 4 times in 53 Super Bowls.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, you know what, Skip? I ain't going to take
Okay.
it all the way back like that. I'm going to go the last 20 years.
Yep.
If your name isn't Brady, Brady got 6. The 2 Mannings got 2 apiece between them. That's 10. 10 of the last 20 Super Bowls is won by Brady or Manning. Now I'm going to throw Big Ben in there. That's 12. You got Rodgers. You got Breeze. Now, which one of those quarterbacks is Dak? That's not. We'll get to that at a little level. Normally,
Dak is Dak.
We'll just stop doing that.
No.
It's not your turn to talk. I was
You
speaking.
ask a question.
No. It was
Answer.
like hypothetical, rhetorical, but, I really didn't hope you respond.
By the way, Dak Prescott is going to win multiple Super Bowls before he's finished.
Go
Go ahead.
can we
Go
get to
ahead.
Ultimately.
We'll see how that plays out. Skip, when I look at the league as a whole, there's 32 teams and probably 3 backs per team. I can only say there's one slam dunk running back that's going to the Hall of Fame. That's Adrian Peterson. Now, AP is not what he once was. Now, I believe Zeke is a couple of years away from being one of those guys. That's a Hall of Famer. Now, Le'Veon Bell was on that arc, but he sat out last year. And how will the voters, will they look, kindly upon missing an entire season.
You listening, Zeke?
No. But over the landscape, when you look at it, Skip, I can't see a whole lot of other ones right now. Zeke is a different animal. More times than not, the quarterback is the value position. He is the guy. But if you look at Tom Brady, what happened last year, Skip, in the Super Bowl? How'd he look? And how old Sonny Michel, an old Rex Burkhead, running that thing, looking good, right? Skip, that's where we are. Jerry knows what Zeke represents. He knows that the one thing that can derail what he's, Skip, the man got into the Hall of Fame, and it was a very proud moment. But he knows in order for him to get what he got 25 years ago, he needs 2-1. And he's watching 2-1 board a flight to go to Cabo. And he got the Lombardi trophy in his bag. It was going away from him. Simple as that, Skip. I wish I could tell you something different, but I
didn't hear all that yesterday.
Oh,
I
you
heard
heard
very different yesterday.
He tried to play tough, but he okay.
Well, my turn. I know Jerry Jones very well because I spent so much time around Jerry Jones for writing the 3 Cowboy books that I wrote. So I think I have a pretty good read on this situation. What happened yesterday was that Jerry Jones declared negotiating war on Ezekiel Elliott. And I did not want it to come to this, but Jerry is Jerry. He can be stubbornly proud to a fault. He is a member of your Pro Football Hall of Fame. He does own the most valuable franchise in all of sports, including soccer, or as they call it over there, football, right? And he does have, you can't take this away, he does have 3 Lombardi trophies in his office. This man is so proud that he can go from being the nicest man in the world, and you've seen the nicest man,
he's unbelievable,
to the angriest man in the world like that. I have seen it up close and personal. Nicest man to, boom, angriest man. He can be your best friend. He can, boom, be your worst enemy.
Ask Roger Goodell.
Ask him. And nobody has a quicker trigger, shorter fuse than Gerald Wayne Jones Jr., Jerry Jones. And it went yesterday. It went off. And he decided, wait a second. This is the man that I fought so hard for, the young man, Ezekiel Elliott.
Correct.
This is the man I put my reputation on the line to back and defend, and maybe overly defend, as he went through 2 bar fights that we know of and pulling down the woman's top. Wait, I'm getting warmed up here.
Shh. Okay. Everybody don't know about that.
Yeah, they do. Well, I don't know. There may be more. Okay. They know about pulling the woman's top down, and they know about the domestic violence accusations that got him 6 games suspended. And everybody knows about the Las Vegas incident. And Jerry is fighting and backing and fighting and backing. And then all of a sudden, it's time for camp. And who doesn't show up to join what I believe and Jerry believes is a potential Super Bowl team? Only one man is holding out.
Yeah, the guy that carries everything. He got the trophy in his bag.
No, he
You
does
want
not
it,
have
Jerry?
the trophy in
Pay
his bag.
for it.
So not only does he hold out, but he goes to Cabo. And it's the ultimate insult to the Cowboys who are in Oxnard, California, and he goes south to Cabo.
It's close, though, isn't it?
It's not that close.
Not close enough.
Yeah, not close enough.
Oh, they don't play football in
So it was
Cabo?
okay to go to Cabo when you were suspended because that's a safe place to be. I'd much rather have Zeke, given his nightlife, in Cabo than I would in Dallas. You can get in trouble anywhere, as you well know, but you can get in less.
He seems to can.
You can get in less trouble, I believe, in Cabo. I don't know this for a fact, but less trouble in Cabo than in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. Cabo's pretty fun.
I know. Well, you could be right about that. As soon as I was saying, I was like,
wait a sec.
I don't know. But whatever. So he did get in good shape in Cabo, so maybe he'll stay in good shape. But here's the point. Jerry decided this is going to go one way or the other. I'm going to catalyze this situation right here and right now because we're not going to have any more lovey-dovey, kissy-huggy. I'm going to war. I'm going to lay it on the line. And in his opening salvo on introductory press conference last Friday, remember, 4 times he referred to the 4th and 1 that Zeke failed to make against the Rams here at the Coliseum in the second playoff game. And now he's going for fear of God. Like, I mean business, I mean war. And if you know Jerry's history, I'm going to point out one more time, Jimmy Johnson pushed him and pushed him and pushed him, and after 2 Super Bowls they won together, Jerry fired Jimmy. That's never happened before, and I'm pretty sure it'll never happen again in the history of this league. He fired the coach who had won 2 straight Super Bowls.
But only after.
But they had won them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
He, quote unquote, went to negotiating war with Emmitt Smith. And I'm not sure their relationship ever quite was rebuilt after that. It got ugly because I was in the middle of it.
Yeah, I don't believe Jerry and Emmitt's relationship is Jerry and Michael.
No, heck no. Not even close. And obviously, Emmitt had won the rushing title, and they won the 92 season Super Bowl.
Correct.
So he had the cachet to say, now I need my money. So they lose the opener at Washington 35-16. Then they lose a home game to Buffalo 13-10. They have the immortal Derek Lassick, who was a rookie 4th-round pick at running back in those 2 games, and he averaged 3.6 yards per rush. And Troy threw it pretty well, and Michael caught a good number of balls, but they couldn't get home. So it was all about Emmitt, and they missed 2 games. And right on schedule, he comes back. And I got to tell you, I thought Jerry actually won that negotiation because the money, I don't want to get in the dollars and cents because they don't make any sense now.
Right.
But I thought that Emmitt, it wasn't worth the holdout to get what he got, but it was worth it to the football team for him to come back with a vengeance because he still won the rushing title in 14 games and won Super Bowl MVP and league MVP.
Let me ask you a question. Did he get $1 more than what his contract had stipulated had he not held out?
Sure.
Well, he won.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that old saying that you can attract more flies with honey than vinegar, and flies equal dollars. You can attract more Jerry Jones dollars with honey than vinegar. Zeke just threw some vinegar in Jerry's face, and Jerry just responded in kind because he will fight fire with fire, and he fought back. And so he goes to the whole idea of the dilemma of the running back position. I don't care what you say it's been devalued.
Yeah.
It has, starting with Mel Kiper on ESPN, it's a passing league.
Well, let me ask you a question, Skip. It's so devalued that Jerry Jones spent the 4th pick on a running back.
He did.
That's how devalued it is.
Okay, to your point, 4th overall pick,
Yeah.
and the quarterback is a 4th round pick.
Yes.
Okay, so I agree with you. It would be very difficult to go win a Super Bowl without 2-1 in your starting lineup.
Correct.
So what does he do? He goes and re-signs Alfred Morris off his couch. And remember, we go back to 2017. Zeke missed the 6 games. And Alfred Morris averaged 4.3 yards a rush in those. He was pretty good. He's pretty good.
But Skip, he's not Zeke.
Remember, he had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons under Mike Shanahan, starting with his rookie, 2nd, and 3rd years.
He worked for over 1,600 yards, I think.
He was a 6th-round pick out of Florida Atlantic, and he made 2 Pro Bowls.
Yep.
And then he came to Dallas, and he was pretty good, but he's not Zeke. Troy Pollard, I have high hopes for. He was their 4th-round pick out of Memphis, but he's, to me, more of a pass catcher, more of a, maybe I should go poor man's Kamara. I don't know, because Kamara is really good.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say he's Alvin Kamara.
Right.
But he's pretty good, but could he step in for Zeke? No, I don't think so.
Well, Skip, when you look at the running back position, there are a handful of backs that are bell cow backs now. Even Todd Gurley, when he got his money, but I don't believe Todd will be that bell cow back. I believe they will split time with him. Really, when you get down to it, only Christian McCaffrey, who plays 90+% of the time, because we didn't think he could be an every down back. But he's turned into an every down back. But I find it very ironic, Skip, that Jerry Jones now all of a sudden, he's worried about what the league says about players. Jerry, Skip, you tell me all the time.
What do you mean? League says about what?
He said the league is to value the running back position. The league says you don't need this. Jerry's a maverick.
But I know, but that's not being a maverick. That's just citing historical stats.
So now he's excited. Now he cites historical facts when it comes to a man getting his money. When did that happen? He's starting to look at Pro Football Focus. They said Zeke is the 8th best running back. It's funny how we take all these elements when we're trying to diminish a guy or we don't want to pay a guy, we'll look at every obscure stat. Anything, well, the league says this, the league says that. Well, the league doesn't have Tom Brady. Jerry Jones, you don't have Tom Brady. They took Zeke with the 4th pick in the draft when they had what they thought of a franchise quarterback in Tony Romo. What is the likelihood? If the New England Patriots with Tom Brady had the 4th pick in the draft, they taking a running back, or Aaron Rodgers, or Andrew Luck, or Drew Brees.
Okay, you're missing the point in the boat once again.
How?
Zeke just insulted Jerry Jones.
No,
that's what just happened.
Jerry insulted him by not giving him his money.
Giving him his money?
Give him his money.
He has 2 years left on his contract, and plus, they could franchise tag him for 2 more years. He is now under control of the Dallas Cowboys for not 2 more years, but 4 more years. 4 more years. Absolutely.
Okay, so what's the problem? Well, you cut Alan Hearns because he underperformed the contract.
Who signed the CBA? Who signed off on the CBA? Who did?
I get all the. Hold on.
Did the players? The players did.
You see?
I thought they were foolish, but they did.
You see how you and owners and a lot of fans work it like this. See, when Zeke, we got him under contract for 4 more years. He signed the contract.
Okay, time out. I would not have signed the CBA back whenever it was. Was it 5 years ago? Yeah,
2011.
6 years ago.
Okay.
So we're
8
going
years
up.
ago.
It's coming up again.
Wow,
Pretty
yeah.
soon.
Because I went to the Hall that year and they didn't have a Hall of Fame game because they were holding out.
Aha.
So that's why I remember it like it was yesterday.
And I remember it like it was yesterday because my friend Ryan Clark at ESPN was the only player rep of the Steelers who said, I will not ratify. I will not vote yes for this.
It was a bad deal.
It was a bad deal.
It was.
They signed it. Zeke is paying for it, but the rules are the rules. Right. The governing document is that.
Yeah.
I can't help it. And Jerry is ultimately a league man, even though he is
no, he's
a
not.
Maverick. Yes,
Jerry's a Jerry's man. Jerry Jones will always do what's in the best interest for Jerry Jones. Skip, did he care about Zeke? Sure, I'm sure he cared about Zeke. But he knows in order to reach his ultimate destination, he needs to be riding that 21 pickup.
Okay. So I think 2-1 blew it by not going to camp.
No.
I know Jerry. I'm going to ask you again, did DeMarcus Lawrence hold out for his contract? Did all those offensive linemen who got big deals, did they hold out? They did not.
What did DeMarcus Lawrence say?
Interesting.
I'm going to have surgery. Y'all don't give me my bread.
Okay.
He said, y'all don't give me this bread. I'm going to hold out. And guess what happened? And DeMarcus Lawrence
got it.
Got it. Yeah. Going to get Zeke that Skip. All it's going to take you is $1 more than what Todd Gurley got.
Yeah.
What's that?
Huh.
You tell me all the time, Skip, when we were talking about this, when I said, look, okay, Zeke coming up for a contract, and Dak, and Amari Cooper, and Jalen Smith, and Byron Jones, you said they'll figure it out. Figure it out! Figure it out!
Let me see. Is Dak holding out? No. Well, Amari, is he there? He's in camp.
What did Amari say? What did Amari tell you?
Byron Jones, is he in camp?
Skip.
Oh, he's there.
Did you remember that movie?
Everybody's there except Zeke.
Did you remember Did you remember that movie? They have it was a movie, not a movie, it was a TV show.
I know it.
Gary Coleman and Todd Bridges and Dana Plato. It was called Different Strokes. And Amari Cooper said it's different strokes for different folks. Now, Zeke has taken.
That was a Sly and the Family Stone song. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Yeah, thank you. Before the TV show.
It was way before the TV
Okay.
show. Skip, Zeke has taken more hits in his first 3 years than probably Amari will take in his career.
Okay, I got it, and I sympathize with that.
Yeah, he plays that position, Skip. You know you got to get your money. You know, Skip, Zeke's value is from the time he come into the league until he's about 27, 28. After that, Zeke knows this is his last contract. He knows what the Cowboys are trying to do. Jenny, they're trying to gobble him up on that rookie deal and then spit him out just like they did DeMarco Murray, just like the Steelers tried to do Le'Veon Bell. But Le'Veon Bell said, no, I'm not letting you put another 400 carries on my body.
I'm telling you, I know Jerry, this is heading the wrong direction because if you push too hard, he'll say, hell with you. I'll just go with Alfred Morris. And you'll say, well, there goes the Super Bowl. And you're probably right. You're almost certainly right. He fired Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
He made Emmett hold out for 2 real games.
Right.
Okay? That's who you're up against.
Good. I got no problem with that.
Zeke misplayed this. Agent misplayed this.
No, he didn't.
If you go to camp and put your arm around Jerry and walk off the field arm in arm with him, you're going to get your money faster, easier, and maybe more.
You know who did?
Trust me on
You know who
that.
tried that? Anthony Davis. Because he told Dale Demps he was not going to re-sign in the summer. But Dale Demps saw the way he was interacting with his teammates and playing. They're like, he ain't going nowhere. He loves it
You
here.
can't compare any of that stuff in New Orleans to Jerry Jones.
All I'm Skip.
This is a proud man.
Well, Zeke should be
this
just
man
as proud.
has an ego that is, you could add up Zeke and Dak and Amari's egos,
I want my
and they
money.
wouldn't equal
I
Jerry.
want my money.
Okay?
It's
Give me my money.
complicated, though, because of how often he's had his back. And he believes that he's helped him so many times that this is a little bit of a slap in the face when you look at it like that.
need my
from
money.
the
Vinegar
quotes.
in the face.
What Zeke said,
Okay?
that
You don't need your money. You need your dissension. That's
Why
all
did
you
Skip-
need.
Skip?
This is your only hope to stop my team, is
What-
to wreck it with salary cap issues.
Don't you attract more flies with poop? Because that's what their contract is, Jenny. And Zeke said, you trying to poop on me, Jerry. I need my money. Give me $1 more than Todd Gurley, and I'll be there tomorrow. You got that in your back. Skip, you tell me
You know
all the
what?
time you figure it out.
More.
This is the Rams' fault.
No,
This whole
they
thing.
don't. See, there you go.
They insanely overpaid
No,
for
they
Todd
didn't.
Gurley. 14.4 a year with $45 million guaranteed.
Okay.
And then the Jets compounded it by paying way too much for Le'Veon when there was no market. It had dried up for Le'Veon Bell, and they said, we still got to pay him $13.1 a year. They only went $29 million guaranteed, but still, bar got set way too high. And now Zeke's agent is saying, we want way more than Todd Gurley. And Jerry's saying, that's insane.
Well, if I was a Cowboy, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd cut Zeke. How dare you get in trouble all the time and not show up on me, Jenny, when I've had your back?
know.
Cut him!
It's funny how on this show for 2 years, somebody argued across the table that Le'Veon was the best back in football. And then I heard Todd Gurley was the best back in football. And then I heard Jerry Jones cannot sleep at night, has to keep cell phone under pillow because Zeke cannot be trusted.
Okay.
And now somebody's saying, go Zeke, go. You're the best.
Hold on, talk about. Let me.
Way to go.
I just want to know one thing. So that means even though you can't trust Zeke now, that means you're going to trust him even less when you give him money? If you can't trust him now, how are you going to trust him more when you give
So
him
I think
money?
you just made the case you shouldn't give him the money.
Well, let him. I would release him. Just release him. Because you telling me, Jerry said it, and you buying into it. Well, you don't need a franchise runner. You don't need a league-leading rusher to win the Super Bowl. Let him go and go with Alfred Morris.
Mike Weber was really good at Ohio State. You remember Mike Weber?
He's good,
He's
but
pretty good.
he's not
He's
Zeke
seventh-round pick.
good for
Yeah,
Ohio
exactly.
State.
Saying.
There's a different version.
Troy Pollard, Mike Weber. I don't know, throw in a little Alfred Morris.
Well, if you had Troy Aikman, I might agree with you.
feel
But
like
you
you're
don't
trying to
have him.
convince yourself of that.
Troy Pollard, no.
We've got Brady-esque at quarterback.
no,
That's what we got.
No, you need Brady.
Speaking of Brady-esque, let's just talk about him.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Brady-esque.
Yeah.
There's another guy
Yeah.
that Skip likes to call Brady-esque. Should the Cowboys pay Dak
Yeah.
right now?
Oh,
He's the one
oh,
that
he's
showed
there.
up.
He's
We'll
there.
discuss
Okay,
next.
pay
Don't
him.
forget, you can check us out
participating.
every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Summertime is here, and while you may be breaking out that baseball cap for a day at the beach or the ballpark, if you're wearing it to hide thinning hair, you may not have to anymore. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. No waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. And products are shipped directly to your door. Order now. Undisputed listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See website for full details and safety information. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/undisputed. That's forhims.com/undisputed. forhims.com/undisputed.
No mercy.
Right now, Ezekiel Elliott's holdout has been the biggest story out of Cowboys camp, but let's not forget about the other star looking for a big payday. Unlike Zeke, Dak Prescott reported to camp despite entering the final year of his rookie deal. One NFL coach told The Athletic that he feels bad for the Cowboys because, quote, if they pay him $30 million a year or whatever, the expectation becomes so high, and I don't think it makes you a better player. Another exec compared it to the Redskins situation with Kirk Cousins when they ultimately let him walk away. So, Shannon, here is the million-dollar question. What is Dak worth?
What I've been telling Skip all along, he was going to get $30 million plus. He was never going to accept anything less than that because the going rate is for a quarterback, it seems to be $30 million plus. Skip liked to heap all these accolades. He won Rookie of the Year. He had the highest completion percentage in his first 3 years. He beat Walker to him twice. He beat Russell Wilson. He's won the division twice. I just want you to know And Jerry Jones to understand all those accolades, cha-ching, 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 because he saw what walking to him got. Carson Wentz got X. He's like, I beat him twice, and I done won the division twice, and I won a playoff game. That's the going rate. You got to pay for that, Skip Bayless. I know you, and I told you that. Even though Stephen Jones is trying to poison the field by telling, well, if Dak don't give us a hometown discount, he don't care about winning. Poppycock. You know that's not true, Skip Bayless. The Cowboys are in a situation they really don't have a choice. This is not a dilemma, two equally perplexing situations, Jenny. You rather get hit by a Mack truck or a dump truck. It doesn't matter. You're equally as done if they're traveling at 50 miles an hour.
Stark comparison.
Yeah, exactly. So what do, Skip? Like, Skip, see, I love this what Skip will say. When I say Skip, they can't play Blake Bortles. Well, what do you want them to do, Shannon? Skip, what do you want them to do? They got to pay him. It's going to cost you $100 million. The expectations are already there. They're the Dallas Cowboys. You said, and everybody says, this is a Super Bowl caliber team with the talent that they have. They've done a great job. So now you have to pay him. The biggest misconception that people have is that the more money you make, the better you are. And that's not true. Just because you pay Dak top 5 money doesn't make him a top 5 quarterback. It just means that, hey, he came up and this is the going rate. Do I look at him as a Brady, Rodgers, Drew Brees, Big Ben, my homeboy? Absolutely not. But that doesn't matter. His contract happens to be up. He plays the most valuable position, and that's what he's going to get. He's going to put you in a bind, and I love it.
Yep. So, Jerry Jones has the greatest set of problems in the entire NFL. How to pay all of his rising stars.
Can't do it.
Who wouldn't want this problem? Everybody wants the problem that Jerry has.
Until they're
but
faced
you
with it.
describe it as, do you want to get hit by a Mack truck or a dump truck, Jerry?
Yep.
Like he's going to get crushed one way or the other.
Damned if you do,
really?
damned if you don't.
Okay. So, I'm going to go to the bottom of this Mike Sando, The Athletic article, to a passage about your quarterback in Minnesota now named Kirk Cousins. The guy you raved about him.
First Cousins.
First Cousins. We went for 2 years on this show with you saying First Cousins, and I'm saying I don't want to be related to that guy. How many times did I tell you Kirk Cousins is overrated? I told you again and again and again and again, and I was proven right. So, Mike Sando writes, the Washington Redskins faced a somewhat similar quarterback dilemma in recent years.
Yeah, they did.
Really?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with
It's
this dilemma,
very
but
similar.
here's the quote from an executive, anonymous quote. People crushed the Redskins for the way they handled Kirk Cousins, and now people think Kirk Cousins is no good and you should never pay him. Who told you that first? Who had the guts to go to the end of the limb and say, overrated, and the day he signed with your team,
I remember.
the most overpaid quarterback in the history of football, I called Kirk Cousins, and I was proven right so far. Do not compare that situation with my quarterback situation, because I told you Kirk Cousins against my team went 1-6 against his arch rival. The one game he won was against my new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, and a really bad Cowboy team. That's the only one out of 1-6. Dak Prescott beat Kirk Cousins all 4 times, 4-0. Kirk Cousins wound up in Washington 26-30-1. He was 4 games under 500. The Redskins was, we won't commit. And finally, your team committed for $28 guaranteed million a year.
84 million,
right?
fully
84
guaranteed.
million fully guaranteed. My quarterback is now 32-16. Is that good? That's pretty good. That's twice 500, right?
Okay, yep.
So Kirk went 26-30-1, and my quarterback is 32-16 in his first 3 years. Okay, I'm here to tell you I will disqualify myself because I believe I have now done my quarterback more harm than good. Because you know what happens on this show. Every time I dig in on a player, much of the sports world will dig in against me and root against the player that I believe in and defend, or overly defend on this show because I have to fight you, right?
Yep.
Because you are so wrong-headed about my quarterback. So I will be the first to tell you that I've probably done a disservice to Dak Prescott, because the more I rave about him and defend him, the harder it probably is for him out in the sports media.
Well, all you doing is driving up the price. But let me ask you this.
I'm not even close to being finished yet. So what did I tell you from day one on this show? And I'm talking about September 6th of 2016 when we launched here on Fox Sports 1. What did I tell you the first day?
He gonna be all right.
I said, Shannon, I'm watching a fourth-round rookie quarterback for my Cowboys in the preseason, and I told you, quote, unquote, I have never seen a rookie quarterback exhibit more poise than Dak Prescott did through his playoff games at the Rams, at Seattle. Do you remember when I said that?
You did.
And did he not ever back me up?
He did.
He should have won the season QBR as a rookie. He had what I called, and you can try to argue with this, but I don't think you can. No. He had the greatest rookie quarterback season ever played, beyond RG3's that year with Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan in Washington. It was a little beyond that. RG3 was really good. Dak won the division, and he capped it off by throwing for 300 plus and 3 touchdowns and one interception against Aaron Rodgers, and he had beaten Aaron, obviously, at Lambeau, and he barely lost that game thanks to Mason Crossbar. But again, he played very well in that playoff game.
Okay.
He played great in that, especially for a rookie starter. And then, do I have to remind you of what continued to happen? But everybody hangs. See, again, to me, this amazes and it angers me like no other topic we do on this show, because Dak gets no credit from you whatsoever.
I give him credit.
You give him a little bit. Yeah. He has become the most underrated, underappreciated quarterback in the league, and it's not even close. And everybody fixated on what happened for those 6 no Zeke games in 2017.
Okay.
What happened?
What happened?
Game number 1 with no Zeke was at Atlanta, and there was no Ty Smith at left tackle. And help me out, what happened to my quarterback? The blind side sacks he suffered, 8 of them. 8 times he went down in that game.
Get rid of the ball quicker.
Okay, yeah, get rid of the bag. Okay, great. And it was hellacious hard on him. And guess what? His defense over those 6 games gave up the 23rd worst yards in the league.
But you never used that argument for Aaron Rodgers. What his defense?
Okay, I don't care. We're talking about a young quarterback in his second year. That was his sophomore campaign. And what was going on with Des Bryant at that point, according to the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe, Des Bryant was a broken down shell of himself who had absolutely no rapport with my quarterback. So my quarterback, let's get this straight. He had no blindside protection. He had no number 1 receiver who could even beat single coverage. Am I right? That's what you told me, right?
Dez was struggling.
Couldn't beat single coverage, and his defense couldn't stop anybody. So did they struggle for 6 games? You better believe they struggled. Did my quarterback bounce back last year and win the division yet again? Did he beat Carson Wentz twice? Did he throw for 331 yards just in the 2 fourth quarters and overtime against the Eagles? Yeah, 24 of 28, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had another hellacious great year, but nobody gives him any credit. How can you pay this man? And the conclusion from one of the salary cap experts here in the Athletic article is, if you pay Dak what you're talking about, the $30 million, he'll never be able to live up to it because it'll be too much pressure on him. Baloney! Watch him live up to it. It's hard to play that position in Dallas, Texas. Yeah. It might be the hardest position to play in the NFL, is the scrutiny the Cowboy quarterback gets because of what happened with Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman, and even to a certain degree, Tony Romo. Sure. He has lived up. He will continue to live up to it. You pay the man his money, as you say in Rounders, and you go forward, because do you question his leadership? No. I give him an A+ in leadership. No. He is the face of that franchise. Do you question his durability? I give him an A+. How can you give him an A+? He hasn't missed a single game.
Right.
All he did was, as you say, no quarterback has ever completed a higher percentage of passes in his first 3 years than this guy. Right. Nobody has more game-winning drives over the last 3 years than this guy. Yet he gets little to no credit from you or really anybody else, and maybe that's my fault.
Well, I give him credit. I give him like $550 credit, which is not very good. You probably have to get a cosigner, Jenny. You're going to put a lot of money down. He ain't got that old
you speak from experience.
He ain't got that $850 credit like O'Shea. I got $850 credit.
Do you?
Yeah,
really?
top of the line, man.
Sure
credit.
Okay.
$850. Skip. But let me ask you a question. And the comparison that you used was Kirk Cousins. Are you saying the Cowboys should bet against Dak like Washington bet against Kirk Cousins? Because they kept franchising him saying, but little do you know, Skip, if you bet against the guy.
See, they were saying we're damned if we do or don't.
Yeah.
Damned if we do, damned if we don't.
But by betting against,
they were actually correct in the way they played it.
But by betting against Kirk Cousins, you do realize if he fails, you don't succeed. Okay, you're like, well, we proved our point. But guess what? You still pick it in the top 5 to top 10. So you do yourself a disservice by betting against him. But I want to ask you one thing.
Interesting.
If Dak was what you thought he was, if he was what Steven and Jerry Jones thought he was, why doesn't he have a contract? Why is he in the last year of his contract?
They're working on it.
What working on?
When a bet gets done before the
Philly
first
ain't working on it. The Seahawks ain't working on it.
Timing.
Look at all these guys that done got these contracts with years. Aaron Rodgers got a contract with 2 years left.
Who has managed their cap the best in the NFL to me? Jerry Jones.
And what do they got to show for it, Skip? You manage your cap really well. Where's the Super Bowl? I'm looking for Super Bowl rings.
Well, he's got 3 of them.
No. A lot of that was pre-cap. Don't do that, Skip Bayless.
That's interesting, too.
Okay.
A quarter century.
Okay, I don't defend him as a GM as far as picking players, although Will McClay has taken up the slack.
Hit it out the park. He hit it out the park.
Okay, so it's time to pay these players as they arrive. And listen, I'll use the old Arkansas phrase, Jerry Jones is whip smart. Stephen Jones is whip smart. They're working on the Dak deal because he's the biggest domino and the first that has to fall. Then you can step back and say, aha, what do we have left on our cap?
Skip.
They're working on Byron Jones. They're figuring this out.
Skip,
It's okay. We got this.
I hate being a harbinger. Messenger. Skip, you think I like delivering this kind of news to you? Well, you're about to give a middle-of-the-pack quarterback $30+ million. That's what's about to happen. I don't care if you pay him $50 million. It's not going to make him a top 5 or top 10 quarterback, Skip. He is what he is. He's durable.
He will earn every cent of it. Every last cent of it. He will give you multiple chances to win multiple Super Bowls.
No. I don't need multiple chances. I need multiple for that kind of money.
Yeah.
I need multiple Lombardis.
Although what you say is that kind of money is now going rate.
That's the going rate.
Right? Okay.
But
so don't tell me that kind of money. That's just average money now.
But here's the thing, Skip. When you start seeing Dak Prescott makes what Aaron Rodgers makes, or he makes what Russell Wilson makes, those guys have won Super Bowls. Okay, so we just see a guy that hasn't won a Super Bowl make that kind of money. And like you said, okay, they played Carson Wentz. I'm like, okay, wow, that's a lot of money.
Okay, somebody in this article suggested give him 15 to 18 million, and if he balks, trade him. They are not going to trade Dak Prescott. I would fall out of this chair. I would walk off the set. I would hold out off this show. I would hold out if they traded Dak Prescott.
Why?
Because he is Brady-esque. Nobody's Tom Brady, but he can win you lots of games and Super Bowls.
You do realize if they were to pay him $15, $18 million, they're basically saying he's Blake Bortles.
Okay.
Because that's what Jacksonville gave Blake
Interesting.
And trade him and watch him win a Super Bowl someplace else. Yeah.
Skip, you can't be afraid of that. You can't run a business being afraid that if you fire a worker that he might go somewhere else and develop a patent that hits it out of the park. That's not how you can operate.
No, you promote that worker to president.
Skip.
Right?
You don't know. So what, okay, you keep him, you pay him $30 million, and he doesn't deliver the goods like you think he can. Then what?
I'm dug in. I told you.
I know that's the problem. Always dug in.
I believe from the start. I haven't wavered 1 ounce. Not 1 ounce. I'm sorry. I just sit over every day digging deeper in.
What's your astrological sign? Are you a Taurus?
No, I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm going to have to look that up in the next break.
What?
What does that mean?
Fire.
Fire.
You got fire right in your face.
You got some Taurus in you because you're stubborn.
No.
You hard-headed.
I got fire.
Thick-headed.
Fire. I'm blazing.
Oh, the Cowboys are keeping you on your toes lately. 11 days before their first preseason
What are
game.
you, by the way?
I'm a Cancer.
Ooh.
Hard outer shell, soft inside.
Really?
That's what a crab meat is.
Is that what they
Once
mean?
you break down that exterior,
You're just an old softy?
Man.
Who knew?
But you got to get through that. But you got to get through that shell.
Oh.
You got to get through that shell.
So are we through the shell?
Wait, has anybody ever gotten through
Yeah, they got through,
Yeah.
That was a little soft there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad
She
we're
got
going
through,
over,
and she got through, and then she got through. Right?
I'm good. I mean, look, Skip. Yes, I've had partners, and we've had,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it didn't go according to plan,
Mm-hmm.
but we've had a great, we've had a great relationship with.
Okay.
Just be upfront. You know, I had one girl say to Shannon, you know, I'm not happy anymore.
Okay.
I said, babe, what you want me to do? I had got a lease on the truck. She said, well, continue to play the lease on the truck, and we're going to be good. I said, just don't go over the mileage. Had 15,000.
You cut her right off, didn't you?
Skip, it was during the season, Skip. It was easy for me to do it during the season. During football, you know, because football was the most important. Like you told Ernestine, what's going to be number one? The job. Okay?
Yeah, but in my life, 1A is pretty good.
the honesty here. You're offering all of these stories up, by the way.
Yeah,
without
I'm
us
real
asking.
with it.
Okay.
I'm a little hard exterior, but once you get to know O'Shea,
So glad we have this out of the way. Now I know more about
You
you
on the
guys.
other hand.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
No mercy.
Next up, the Lakers are hoping Anthony Davis is the co-pilot. LeBron needs to end the team's 6-year playoff drought. But AD has only made the playoffs twice in his 7 NBA seasons, with just one playoff series win with the Pelicans. And despite the lack of success, Davis believes his legacy is just getting started. Take a listen.
I don't think I have a failure that I've had yet. Obviously, you know, at the end of my career, if I don't win a championship, I feel like that's one of my biggest failures. But right now, I still have a lot to do in this world, you know, on and off the court. So I don't think I failed at anything. You know, I think I can continue to just do it over until I, you know, succeed at it.
All right, Shannon, does AD have a point?
he absolutely has a point. Skip, do you realize Anthony Davis is going into his 8th season and he's only 26 years of age?
Yeah, I thought about his age, too.
You know, Skip, the biggest misconception is that we think great players win automatically. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird spoiled us because they came out the box. Magic won his first year. He won, then Larry won, and then Bird won, then Magic won again, and then the Sixers, then Bird, and then Magic, and they just kept winning. But if you look at this, Michael Jordan didn't win his first title until year 7. Shaq was year 8. LeBron was year 9. Kevin Durant was year 10. Is anybody on that list that I just mentioned Anthony Davis better than? So we expected Anthony Davis to do what these guys, but look what it took. It took team. Shaq had Kobe. LeBron had D. Wade, Chris Bosh, and Kyrie. Kevin Durant had Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Draymond, and Jordan got Scottie Pippen. So and he had Phil Jackson. So Skip, I mean, it takes a lot. People just think you win automatically. You do realize that Magic had the MVP his rookie year. Kareem won the MVP of the league. So it's not that easy. He's absolutely right. He's not failed. He won a national title, and he went to a situation where eventually he just saw, I guess he saw the writing on the wall, Skip, that I can't win here. And at the end of the day, it's not about making $220 million, $250 million. Although that would be nice and win, give me that. Give me my legacy of winning is more important than money. Because when it's all said and done, nobody's going to be remembered, oh, man, you know Anthony Davis made $500 million playing in the NBA. How many titles we get? That's what when you play a team, when you play a sport, Skip, be it a team sport or an individual sport. Tiger Woods could have captivated, been great, but if Tiger Woods didn't win, Skip, we're not talking about Tiger. We talk about Tiger, yeah, because he was black and he won the Masters, but he won, and he won at a high level. We talk about Serena because she won and she's winning. Anthony Davis understands that. He understands that money is great and all, but I got to win. And he just went to the right place. He went to the right place to pick up. If you want to purchase some old Larry O'Brien award, go to the Lakers because it's going to happen.
Really?
Yes, it is. And then what you going to say? You doing all this, but you know what? I told you that energy that you have when your guy number 2, he bamboozled LeBron. He bamboozled the Lakers.
He did. That's a good word for it.
Yeah, that's okay.
He took him for a big old ride.
Kawhi's happy. If Kawhi's happy, I'm happy. But I'm going to be the guy that's happiest is the guy that's happiest at the end. That's what I learned. Yeah.
He who laughs
last, laugh loudest.
Or best. Okay?
Wise words. Okay.
So here we go again on digging in. I dug in a long time ago from the start of this show. How many times did I tell you there's something missing in Anthony Davis? I don't know what it is. It's some intangible. It's some team-lifting ingredient that he just doesn't have. Is he a tremendously gifted basketball player? You better believe he is, because he has become the PER prince of this league. He is a dominating statistical player who doesn't have the dubs to go along with the stats. I think he's a very good young man. It seems like he has a good heart, and that's all. Like, there's nothing, I have nothing personal against him whatsoever. I just see what I see or don't see. And in this case, I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Wow, 7 years in New Orleans with not much to show for it. I was surprised that he would say, I haven't failed yet, because 7 seasons with nothing to show is a failure when you were the first overall pick. First overall pick.
So what was Shaq? Was Shaq a failure?
Okay, let's do apples to apples comparison.
Okay.
Let's do my Spurs. Let's do David Robinson before Tim Duncan joined him. He was there for 7 years.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He actually had an 8th, but it was injury plagued. But let's do his first 7 years.
Okay.
You look at their stats, you look at their productivity, their accolades.
Very close.
We're pretty similar. Because right away, David started making all-star teams, and 1 year he did lead in blocks. AD's
first
led,
unanimous rookie of
he
the
was
year, I
rookie
think.
of the year. AD's led this league in blocks 3 times, okay? And he's made 6 all-star teams. He did have an all-star teammate who had made an all-star team in Drew Holiday, right? And then his friend DeMarcus Cousins, Kentucky product, obviously, joined him, and DeMarcus had made all-star teams and then made one with AD in New Orleans. Okay, so let's look at David Robinson. In his first 7 years, his team averaged 55 wins. 55. So the average record of his first 7 years was 55 and 27. AD's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in New Orleans, he averaged 36 and 46. Now, was he nicked here and there where he had this little injury and that little injury? Nothing major, but always a little hurt here or there, missing games here, missing games there. Yes, he did. But again, David averaged 55 wins in his first 7 years, AD 36 wins. Something missing. So AD goes to the playoffs twice in 7 years and goes 5 and 8 in the postseason. David's team made it all 7 of his first years. They made the playoffs, and he went 27 and 26. So he had high wins. He also had high losses, but they did make it to the conference finals in 1995, the no Jordan year, and lost to Hakeem's Rockets.
Right. But let me ask you a question, Skip. He won 56 games. What did that get him? Did he get into an NBA Finals? It took who did it take coming in order for David Robinson to get over the hump?
All right, but whose resume do you like better? David Robinson, similar player to AD, or AD's resume in New Orleans? And there's no pop yet either.
But think about it now. And Shaq was in Orlando with Penny. You do realize Penny was like a top 2 point guard at the time before his knees gave out on him.
Okay, I got you. I'm just doing apples to apples, David Robinson to AD. Very similar players.
We don't do games. Where I'm from, we don't count games.
No.
You got them chips?
Okay.
You got any chips? How many chips in the bag?
You got them playoffs? David Robinson had 7 in a row.
Yeah.
AD's got 2 out of 7 playoffs, just making the playoffs.
Skip, you don't eat potato chips, but I eat potato chips. You know, you go in the bag, the bag got all that air, and you think you got a bag full of chips, and then when the air goes out of them, you got like 5 chips in them. I'm like, whoa, what happened?
Not even half.
Let me ask you a question.
They're trying to save you for yourself.
I don't want
right?
to save me. You done charged me $1. Let me hurt myself.
Because you know what happens. You can't just eat one.
Of course you can't.
You say, there's another one. There's another one. All of a sudden you look and the bag's empty.
Exactly. And that's what happened. In 7 years, David Robinson winning 56 games, the bag was empty. Had no chips in it. Just like AD. But guess what happened? Lo and behold, I'm going to try to figure out, how did if San Antonio was winning 56 games a season, Jenny, can you tell me how would they land the number 1 overall draft pick, winning 56 games a year? That's never happened before, has it?
Well, then I told you the last year was injury play.
So if you're injured, there's a good chance your team is not going to be as good. And did you say that AD has missed 15 games here and 18 games there and yada?
Here and there.
So he was injured.
All I know is now we get to find out just what is Anthony made of.
I know what he is.
The guy who has never failed, according to him, now is on the hottest seat in the NBA because he gets to co-star with your man.
Did he win an NCAA title? Was that a big stage? Now, you say the guy that's the number 1 overall draft pick now, he had a better career than AD. AD won the chip. AD won the chip.
Is he going to win another one?
Yes, he will. He sure will. And then what you going to say then?
You know what happens? The GOAT, as you call him, always needs a scapegoat, and it's now Anthony Davis.
No,
Let's see how he likes that spotlight.
Yeah, after we win 56 games and win that
I
title.
can't wait until the first day you come in here on some random Wednesday and you say, that Anthony Davis, he's got to live up,
Never
man.
happened. Never
he's
happened.
got to carry his weight.
AD got it.
I'm gonna
25 and
remember
12.
that. I'm gonna wait for
And
that.
I will be at opening. I wasn't there last year, but I will be at opening day this year.
He'll be
You're
your
gonna
new.
be there.
He'll be your new Kevin Love.
No, stop it.
Yep, Kevin Love.
Kevin
Here we
Love
go.
can't hold a candle to this kid.
Okay,
You
well,
need to stop.
okay. Let's
Skip,
see.
you ought to be ashamed of
You're
yourself.
going to sing a different tune come December, January. We'll see.
I'll be singing. I'll be
It'll be
singing.
fun.
Man, I'll be singing me a great tune come
Yeah.
June.
Got so much to look forward to.
We're in the money.
Really?
We're in the money. That's what I'm gonna be singing. What about you?
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Hey,
That's what
no,
you're gonna be singing. You're gonna be dreaming.
But you laughing now. But Skip, let's be real. I mean, it takes stars a while. Like I said, we got spoiled because Magic and Bird won so early in their careers. But for the most part, Kevin Durant was in year 10, Shaq was year 8, LeBron year 9, Jordan was in year 7.
You know what I wanted to hear him say?
What?
I failed in New Orleans. I will not fail LeBron in LA.
No,
Say that.
Failure's not
say
an
it.
option. When have you ever heard a great athlete say they failed?
Yeah.
Not often. All right, we got a lot to look forward to. It's going to be good. I'm glad you're going to be there. But this story, it just won't go away. Should the Saints still be talking about last season's blown call? Yes, there's more to this one. Next.
No mercy.
Summer is finally here, and if you're looking to keep up with your fitness on hot, busy days without hitting the gym, we have to tell you about the latest from Peloton, The Tread. Live and on-demand running, strength, boot camp, walking, and stretching classes. A total body workout experience reimagined, all from the comfort of your home. To clarify, this is not another treadmill. Unleash your inner competitor. Live performance metrics like speed, incline, and mileage. Push yourself even further with real-time encouragement from your instructors and other members in class. Work up a sweat with world-class instructors who are running, walking, stretching, or lifting right by your side. The motivation is real-time and crazy effective. Discover the immersive and challenging total body training you can get from Peloton Tread. Peloton is offering listeners a limited time offer. Go to onepeloton.com, use the code UNDISPUTED to get $100 off accessories with the purchase of a tread.
No mercy.
The last game Mark Ingram played as a Saint was the controversial NFC Championship game loss to the Rams. And even though he's in Baltimore now, he's still thinking about that missed call that cost New Orleans a trip to the Super Bowl. Ingram was asked about the play and said this: "That is something that no one on our team, no one in our organization will ever get over. Obviously, they changed the rules, so they know they got it wrong. Some players play 14, 15 years without making it to a playoff game. So to be able to make it to that point, a minute and some change left, and if you get this call, you've got a fresh set of downs and you're going to the Super Bowl." It was sickening. Every time I see the play, it's a bad feeling. It's a dark cloud over me. Shannon, does he have a point?
He does to a certain extent, Skip, because you don't realize, as you said, there are guys that play an extended period of time and they never get an opportunity to play in the playoffs. You don't know how many more opportunities you're going to have. At least Drew Brees can say, you know what, I did get to a Super Bowl. I won it. I was the Super Bowl MVP. But Drew, people don't understand this. Drew is only a year behind Tom Brady. Drew is in his 19th season. He has less time than more time. Skip, I think for me, and I know what Mark Ingram is talking about. Skip, for me, we were 13-3 in '96, and we lost to the Jags, who had been an expansion team for only a year. They just came into the league in '95, so they only been playing football for a year before they upset us in the divisional round. And I remember after the game, it took me and TD Terrell Davis were sitting on the sideline, and eventually I just say, "Let's go, bro." And when it was my turn to speak, I said, "I believe we set the organization back 10 years." Now, Skip, even though I was very fortunate, after that we won back-to-back Super Bowls. I go to Baltimore and I win another one. But do you know I still think more about the loss to Jacksonville than I do the 3 wins?
I believe that because I hear it in your voice on this show often.
I do.
Yep.
Wow. I can just imagine
Mark Brunell,
Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, and Natron Means ran wild over us. Skip, It's almost a very similar situation to what we saw in Seattle. Now, the difference is Seattle was a team that had internal conflict. They were a team within a team because they had an offensive team and they had a defensive team.
That is true.
And the defense felt that they were most responsible for the success. The defensive players rallied more around beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, than they did the quarterback.
Yeah.
And so when Pete Carroll allowed Darrell Bevel to call that play, it ripped the fabric away from that, and everything just fell out. They were never going to be the same again. In this situation, that was self-inflicted because Pete Carroll didn't have to allow that. Darrell Bevel didn't have to call that play. This was out of, I don't believe anyone has lost faith in Sean Payton. I believe they still believe he's as good, if not the best offensive play caller in all the game. He might get some pushback. I mean, hey, Josh McDaniels is unbelievable. But to serve the role that Sean Payton does, head coach and call plays, there might not be very many better than what he does right now. So I don't believe they've lost faith in him. But I can just imagine being there and knowing what it's like to be so close. And you're like, this is our year. Skip, you home. You have been so good at home all year. And like he said, you're a minute and some change away. You get that call, you can just take a knee. Take a knee. They out of timeout.
Rams had one left.
Okay, so you take one knee, done. Then take another knee, take another knee, kick a field goal, and boom, we going home. We going to the Super Bowl. So I can see why he said there are some people, especially because I know for a fact, for me, had we not gone to and won Super Bowls, I would have never, ever. But I still think about that, even though I was very fortunate to win 3 after that loss, Skip, I still think about that more than the others.
But quick point of order, when you lost to Jacksonville, you didn't get robbed.
No.
You got beat.
We got beat.
Okay.
We got beat.
Quick point of order about Mark Ingram, who now plays for the Baltimore Ravens. He referred to our team, our organization. No, not anymore.
That's not your team.
And I don't know if operating subliminally for Mark Ingram were some sour grapes going on because they rejected Mark Ingram.
Right.
He wanted to stay. He hoped that they would top the $4 million. He's another running back, devalued. He was making $4 million for the Saints. He wanted a little bit more. They said, we will not budge off 4. He was a free agent. He goes to Baltimore, and they say 5. So he got $5 million to play for the Ravens.
Right.
God bless. But some sour grapes because they basically said no to him.
Well,
right?
We saw Reggie Bush talk about that, Skip. What they have in New Orleans is a platoon system. You're not going to be the bell cow back, so they're not going to give you top running back money. They're not going to even give you Devontae Freeman. People were like, Devontae Freeman got $8 million, but he was splitting carries with Kevin Coleman. Well, if you're splitting carries with Alvin Kamara, and he's getting 80, 90 catches a season, plus another 150 rushes, they can't give you Zeke or Le'Veon Bell or Tar Gurley's type money because you're not going to be able to get that kind of production with as fewer carries and opportunities you're going to get.
Okay. So I brought up this play before, but we're going way back to a Houston Oilers team against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh, 1979 playoff game to get to the Super Bowl. Mike Renfro, a little receiver I got to know when he came to the Cowboys late in his career. He toe taps, and he got his feet down. There's no replay. Oh, no, you didn't get the call. And they crumbled the next year because they were still a really good football team, and they lost. They made the playoffs, but lost a wild card game to the Raiders, and the great Bum Phillips got fired after the next year and went on to the Saints.
Brought Earl with him.
He sure did. Snake Stabler went.
Yep.
Okay, the problem was that team couldn't quite lift itself back up. This is just a gut feeling I have. I believe that the crime of this century, and that happened last year at New Orleans, that was the crime of this century, the all-time robbery. I believe it will not wreck the Saints. I believe it will lift the Saints this year.
You do.
Depending on it, remember, we made our early Super Bowl picks, but you said last week we reserved the right to change. I picked Dallas, but pending the Zeke outcome, I reserve the right to pick somebody else, depending on.
And they got to hold out themselves. Mike Thomas is holding out.
Okay. Well, we'll see how both of those play out because that's a key one too. Maybe not quite the Zeke, but it's pretty key. If I don't pick Dallas, I very well might pick the Saints because I believe they will be on fire, motivated to get even over this. And now there's this weird lawsuit going on in the state of Louisiana. They're trying to depose not only Roger Goodell, but 3 of the referees from the game. It's like,
Skip,
what?
I mean, what did they expect Roger to say? Well, yeah, we went up there and we told him, hey, look, don't pick the flag up. Don't throw a flag.
Right.
Come on.
So it was rigged? Is that what you're going to try to
Come on.
prove? I don't think it was
Still
rigged.
trying.
No.
I'm sorry.
The guy just missed it.
Okay, they blew it, and you can't sue over that.
No.
You can't sue over what Jerry always calls human frailty,
Right.
which he likes and you
Right.
endorse.
Well,
it
Skip,
too.
you remember the Royal, what was it, the Royals and the Cardinals? Donnie Darkinger called. Skip, he blew it. The game was over.
Yeah.
They lost the World Series.
But that was
That was game
like
six. I think.
There was still a game 7 to be played.
But Skip, it's over.
Okay.
It's over. We don't even get to a game 7.
Yeah,
we don't
I know.
need a game 7.
Right.
And so they're like, this is the World Series where they go on to lose. And that, obviously it took some years. I mean, the Pujols years, they won a World Series since. But it's, Skip, when something like this happens, the first thing you think, it's just not for us. Because we always say what is meant to be will be. Well, when this happened, you're like, well, this just wasn't meant for us. It just wasn't meant. You're like, what do we got to do? We at home, we this away, and it's so obvious. I mean, when you look at, I mean, Skip, at the time, I mean, I'm watching it, and I'm like, that's pass interference. I didn't need to see replay. And I'm like, what are the officials watching? But Skip, they just froze. They just froze.
So I'm looking as glasses half full because to your point, you can't blame Sean Payton.
No.
You can't blame that Drew Brees was allowed to throw it instead of Mark Ingram
Well, a
banging it
little
into the
bit,
end
because
zone.
he should have threw it on first down. You know what I'm saying, Jenny? Sean Payton did call a pass
I
on
mean,
first
you have-
down.
you-
That stopped the clock.
But didn't Drew
Would
get
it
them
have been
there?
different?
Didn't that team love Drew Brees? Doesn't it still love?
They do. And they
feed
did have the
off
ball
him?
in overtime, too, now. Let's not lose sight of that, Jenny. They did have the ball
Their
in overtime.
window's getting smaller.
Yes.
I mean, he's
It's
entering
about
year
to
19.
close,
Yeah.
but I believe they will be all-time on fire, motivated over this. And by the way, it's week 2. There's a little Fox
There
doubleheader,
is.
and it's Dallas at Washington first, followed by Saints at
visiting
Rams,
the Rams.
right here on Fox.
You want to go to that
Are
one?
you going to the game? Maybe you bring them bad luck.
Maybe.
You need to go to the Cowboys game, Jenny. You need to go to as many
That
Cowboys.
was one time. I
You need
was
to go
just
as
a
many
fan.
Cowboys games. You need
I
to go
will
as many.
never forgive that, but
Yeah,
it's okay.
I won't be heading to Oxnard anytime soon. I'll
that's
stay
good.
away in
Yeah.
case
Jenny,
I'm
but
bad luck.
I mean, you should go to the games. Cowboys come anywhere
Yeah,
close.
You want me to
you'd
go to
love
the
that,
game
wouldn't
as
you?
much as I
Yeah.
can. Interesting stuff there. Well, we'll have to see. You said glass half full? Okay. I'm
What
gonna
kind of
leave it at
glass?
that. I'm gonna
It
leave
all
it at
depends.
that.
What kind of glass is it? Is it a shot glass or it's a big gulp?
Curious what you'll say about this one, Skip. Who is the most important, Cowboy, Dak, or Zeke?
Oh, Michael Vick. Here we go.
Give his take next.
No mercy.
All right, Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott both want to get paid, but Dak is currently at Cowboys camp here in California, while Zeke is training in Cabo. Zeke is reportedly looking to become the highest paid running back in the NFL, passing the deal Todd Gurley signed last year for nearly $15 million per year. And Stephen Jones said that the Cowboys have made solid offers to both guys. We are joined by Fox NFL analyst Michael Vick.
Oh, welcome back.
Thanks for
Good
having
to
me.
have you.
Miss you guys.
I know how these guys feel. I need your take. Who is
I
more
know how he feel.
valuable
Yeah, well.
to the Cowboys?
Well, I want to know how he feel.
You want to know? I want to hear
think
what you
you
think
know.
first.
We're here in the
Dak
show.
or Zeke? Who you got? Who's more valuable?
You know what? It's a tough question, man, because Dak's the guy with the ball in his hands all the time and being a former quarterback.
Yep.
But
I know, the consistency lies at the quarterback position, and Dak has provided that over the last 3 years. And moving forward, I see that, not, trending off in a different direction. But a huge part of his success has come from Zeke. And look, it's a parallel between the two. It all ties together. And listen, I would love for this deal to get done because it's going to be a great season if it do. But, Zeke has made it easier for Dak and vice versa. And Dak has done everything he's supposed to do to put himself in a position to earn a contract. I don't think it'll be a situation where he'll break the bank. I understand Zeke wanting top dollar because he deserves it, and he has an offensive line in front of him that puts both of them in a position basically where they can be successful. So I would love to see where the compromise lie, when it's all said and done, and Zeke's deal get finalized because it will happen. Maybe not in due time, but Dak will get done first.
I think I
and then
just
Zeke.
heard Mr. Vick lean toward the quarterback position
Yeah,
because it's
absolutely.
just more valuable
It
than
is.
the running back
It is.
position. Thank you. Next question, Your Honor.
I got Zeke. And 9 times out of 10, Mike, you would be right. You would be right. The quarterback is more valuable. But let me tell you what the Cowboys told you how valuable Zeke was. They had Tony Romo, and with the 4th pick in the draft, they took that guy. They said, we want a dominant run game.
Maybe they just took the best player available.
No.
Huh?
Oh, let me ask you a question. That's not what the Patriots do. Patriots ain't taking no running back with the 4th pick in the draft. Green Bay ain't taking no running back with the 4th pick in the draft. Not when you got those guys.
No, when they can steal Sony Michel at the bottom of the first round, right?
I mean, that was a good pick.
But here's the thing, though, Skip Bayless, is that when you have a franchise Hall of Fame level running back, and then you pair it with a middle-of-the-pack quarterback, good things can happen. You get every once in a while, Skip, because for the longest time, you had to be, if you go back and look at the history of it, look how many quarterbacks has won the Super Bowl and then gone on into the Hall. Because that's what you needed. You needed that guy. And you get outliers. You get a Nick Foles that'll win it. You get a Joe Flacco. Now, Joe Flacco in the playoffs is different than Joe Flacco in the regular season, Skip. Joe Flacco is a drop touchdown away from going to 2 Super Bowls.
That is true.
Yeah.
But for me, Skip, with this offensive line and the way they run the football, he made Dak's life easier because it lifted that 8th guy out of the box.
Yeah.
And when he pulls that 8th guy down, now he has Amari Cooper to throw the ball to.
One-on-ones.
All I know is this, Skip Bayless. When Zeke Elliott is held to less than 75 yards, you know what Dak Prescott's record is? 0-7. When Zeke doesn't play, he's 500. Could I interest you in that, Skip?
Who led the playoffs in rushing last year? Help me out. Oh, New England did.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Did they have Zeke? No, they didn't have Zeke. They had
They had Tom Brady.
They had Rex Burkhead.
Well, if you had
Thank you.
Well, if you had Tom Brady,
They had somebody solid who can fill in and get the job done.
So you believe Pollard? So in other words, you're telling me Pollard and Alfred Morris can do the job similar to what Sony Michel and Rick
Mike
Burkhead?
Weber,
No.
don't sleep on him.
Good
He's
player.
pretty good.
But-
right?
Okay, Mike Weber.
That's a good
We'll
point.
see. We'll see.
Mr. Vick, no topic we've done in the history of this show irks me more than this topic. And I do
me too.
appreciate the fact that being an ex-quarterback, you did lean to the quarterback position because it's just harder to play than the running back position. What do they always say? Running back translates the quickest out of college
It
because
does.
you just
Take
see
the ball and
holes,
run to
hit
the
holes.
open hole.
What did North Turner tell me back in 1991 with Emmitt Smith? They couldn't figure out how to get Emmitt to hit the right hole because he just didn't like to hit holes. He liked to go where he went. You know, like he sees daylight, hits daylight,
Yes,
runs
exactly.
to daylight,
Yes.
right? And so they finally gave up and they started calling plays hand off Emmitt left or hand off Emmitt right or toss left or toss right. And it was as simple as those are the 4 plays. Those are your 4 options. And with those elephant offensive linemen they had, that might have been the greatest offensive line in the history of this league.
It's hard to argue against that.
They just let Emmitt go to the left and duck and dart and see daylight. And before you knew it, he squirted into the secondary and nobody could get him on the ground.
Yeah, it makes it easy for a running back when you have a talented offensive line in front of you. But I do agree, Zeke is a once-in-a-generational type of talent.
Okay,
he has the ability to change the game. He can change the game, but
he is going to be joining you in the Hall of Fame, I believe. I got to knock on wood for him. Stay healthy. He is a run-to-contact runner. I don't think he's going to last a long time in this league, but his duration will be Hall of Fame worthy, I believe.
I agree.
Please, God, help us get this contract done.
Now, stop praying. You don't pray for that.
I'm praying for contracts.
We got to pray for that one. You got to pray for that.
The point is, my quarterback is the most underrated, underappreciated quarterback in this league now, and I can't fathom it. I can't figure it out because everything that he has done would say good to great, good to great, good to great. There's nothing average about this quarterback. And by the way, when he finally got a true number 1 receiver mid-year last year, they just took off because he got a young receiver he trusts and likes, a young receiver who is the flip side of Des Bryant, who welcomed Dak, who embraced Dak because he was in NFL hell in Oakland with Gruden, and he comes to Dallas, I'm in heaven. I love you, Dak. Dak says, I love you, Amari. And they take off and they go 7-1 down the stretch and win a playoff game. And the most valuable player in that playoff game was my quarterback with his legs and his arm. He weighs 250 pounds and he can move around a little bit. He ain't no Vic, but he can, every once in a while on 3rd and 10, he can run a quarterback draw down by the goal line and just about score.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? If Nick Foles or Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback for the Cowboys, are they any less favored than what they are right now?
What, in a playoff game?
In any game.
Nick Foles is magic man. I mean,
Are they any less favored? Because that's what you're saying. Those guys, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater was the most important guy. He was more valuable than Adrian Peterson? Because that's what it is.
Well, Dak is way better than Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Nick Foles is really good.
I'm just saying.
That's tough. When you think about the origin of Dak Prescott, and I can see the Cowboys organization, being, so tied into this because, Dak took over for Tony Romo, and that wasn't easy. Tony Romo was a great quarterback, and for him to step in that early and show promise for 3 years, it almost makes them feel obligated, to make sure that Dak get done. But you got Zeke. It just happened. It's kind of bad timing, so to speak, because you have all these great players who need contracts at one time. It usually don't happen like this.
I keep saying that's a good problem. I'll take that problem because they're all on the rise.
Well, Skip, you followed the Cowboys for a long period of time, and if you look at Tony Romo, when he had great seasons, they ran the ball exceptionally well. With Marion Barber, with DeMarco Murray.
Mm-hmm.
When they could run the football.
Well, obviously, it goes hand in hand. Yeah. I'll scratch your back because you're going to scratch my back.
And even with Tony Romo, they say, you know what? We want old Zeke Elliott. That's what we want.
Well, DeMarco he was done, man. He was used up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
So Zeke said, I ain't going to let y'all use me up. I'm not finna let y'all do me like the orange. Squeeze all the juice out of me. I'm talking about all of it. Not only you get an orange, Skip, you roll it on the thing, make sure it's good and soft.
Prime it up.
You squeeze it. And then you just ring it around the thing, and then you throw it in the trash. Zeke said, y'all not going to do me like that. Nah, bro. Y'all going to break
I don't
bread.
like orange juice. I just don't like
I
it.
love
The Cowboys didn't expect to
I'm
be in
not
this
surprised.
situation 3 years ago, especially with Dak taking over for Tony. They didn't.
No,
they drafted Zeke, not knowing that Dak will be taking over, for Tony. It's the
Well, they was going to have to
really
make a decision one way or another.
not ideal.
You made the best point to start. The offensive line is really good.
Yeah,
so
they're healthy.
The offense is going to go as it goes if it stays healthy and happy and everybody's clicking, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that makes the quarterback's job much easier and obviously the running back's job much easier.
Yeah.
But the point is, my quarterback is a little more valuable than my Hall of Fame bound running back because my quarterback is the unquestioned leader of this franchise, face and leader of franchise, and I trust him on and off the field. And when it comes to durability, which is, as you know, it's a key attribute.
I was going to say longevity.
Hey,
that's another key point.
my quarterback hasn't missed a game. I give him A+ in leadership and durability. And I told you the day this show started, we had only seen him in his first preseason as a rookie because Romo had gotten hurt at Seattle.
Yeah.
And I said, I've never seen a more poised rookie quarterback than Dak showed me in the preseason games. Okay? Just in the preseason. And he backed me up by winning the division his first year, and he almost won the season QBR race among all the Bradys and Matt Ryans.
Well, that line
and
better
Drew
be on their
Brees.
best behavior.
Yeah.
Because old Malik Jackson and Fletcher Cox and Barnett and Graham, they coming. So
Are
they better
they?
be on their best behavior.
Really?
And old walking to them would be walking to them in year 2.
Okay, my quarterback against the Eagles last year, division rival, in the 2 fourth quarters, threw for 331 and 4 touchdowns.
Did they have D-Jack? Wait a minute, can you talk to me? Can D-Jack still run?
D-Jack can still run. He still think he's one of the fastest guys in the league.
He thinks he's one of the
He
fastest.
is.
He
We'll
thinks.
see. We'll find out.
Thinks.
Oh, D-Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, they got them two
I
tight
believe
ends,
it.
Ertz and Goddard.
D-Jack,
Alshon.
wait a second, his last 7 games against the Dallas Cowboys, he's 1-6, and he's 6-10 lifetime against the Cowboys.
Well,
I don't know.
Hold on. We'll tell the whole story now.
Okay.
Because you say Kirk Cousins is 1-6. Wasn't he on that team with Kirk Cousins?
Yep.
So Kirk Cousins was holding him back. But what old Vic do? Vic, what y'all do to him on Monday night?
We bombed him.
I'd say. That might have been the all-time bomb game in the history of football.
But you know what?
Unexpected.
Yeah.
Look, Skip, just get a man his money. The man said, "Give me $1 more than Todd Gurley, and I'll be the camp today." He got a plan on standby right now. He got pilots on standby, waiting on Jerry to get in the car.
You say Jerry's about to get run over by either a Mack truck or a dump truck,
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking about
I
that.
say this about Dak, just the consistency, not missing the game for, in the last 3 years, I can respect that more than
Goes a
anything.
long
I would
way.
say you get that one.
Yes,
Right?
for sure.
Because it is a hard game to stay healthy.
is.
Well, look at old Zeke.
But that is
With all them
interesting.
carries, Zeke leads the NFL in carries in yards per game,
Got to tone
and he
that
ain't
down.
missed a game.
Durability as well.
Ain't missed a
I
game.
love when they feed Zeke, but they can't feed him to, wear him down and there's nothing left.
That's
in
what
the
they're trying
tank.
to do. They're trying to do that on that old chicken feed money.
And that's why I understand he wanted to get his money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you imagine how good it's going to be when we get both these deals done
Oh,
before
man.
the first
It's gonna be
real
Well,
game?
when you gotta get
Do you
done.
realize
Are you
how
gonna
much
be okay?
trouble
Don't
you're
Forget
going
about
to
Amari. Don't forget Amari Cooper.
Amari.
He's a-
Get him
There's a lot
done.
of deals
Get
to
him
get done
done.
around
Yeah,
there.
well, where y'all getting all this money
Jerry's
from?
got a bigger
How they
cap.
put this under the cap?
Jerry bought a bigger cap than anybody else.
Yeah,
has.
I must.
That's for sure.
He must be got a baseball cap or something. Because he sure fit a lot of contracts under that NFL cap.
All right, we're moving on. This is fitting because Michael knows a thing or two about running quarterbacks.
does.
So how should the Ravens handle Lamar Jackson? We're going
This
to get
is
your
good.
take on this.
Yep.
No mercy.
Lamar Jackson was a rookie sensation for the Ravens last year, going 6-1 as a starter and leading them to the playoffs. Last season, Lamar ran the ball 147 times, which was the most rush attempts for a quarterback in the modern era. John Harbaugh was asked how much his quarterback will run the ball this season, and he said, quote, bet the over. Michael Vick is still with us as one of the best running quarterbacks we have ever seen. What do you make of what Harbaugh has to say here?
Well, I don't doubt the fact that Lamar is not going to run the football.
Right.
I mean, I can see on average maybe 10 times a game, but I can't see Jim tipping his hat off to opposing, defensive coordinators who are going to be pretty much stacking the box and watching a lot of film, waiting for Lamar to take off, or, trying to game plan just to take away his strengths. The most important thing, and I think what they might not be trying to, tip their hat off to now is, Lamar progressing as a passer. And I would do the same thing. I mean, not just say that this is Harbaugh's game plan or if he's trying to play a mind game with, defensive coordinators. That's all I can see it being. But that kid can't do what he did last year. I wouldn't want to see that.
16 games.
Not over 16 games. He's starting week 1. He'll play a little bit in the preseason, start week 1. This is his year. So, self-preservation is going to be the most important thing, and him, protecting himself and being accountable, throughout the entire season. But no, I wouldn't bet that. I can't see Lamar running as much as he did last year.
No, Skip. For me, if John Harbaugh is willing to take the over, I'm taking the under on 5-year career.
Yes.
He averaged running the ball 17 times a game in his starts, which was still more than Cam ran in 16 games. Skip, do you know if he averaged that over 16 games, that would be 272 rush attempts. That would have finished second behind Zeke Elliott last year.
Whoa.
Now, what quarterback can take 272 licks? Not to count the times he get hit in the back on a sack.
That's true.
Yes.
No way. No way. Now, maybe John is trying to, trying to be funny. Maybe he's trying to, who knows? Maybe he's like, well, I'm going to take the over. Maybe Lamar is not progressing as much as a passer as he's hoped. But
That could
there's
be the
no
case.
way, Skip, he can run more than what he ran last year. Skip, so basically you say, look, we saw what happened when he played San Diego on that Saturday night. They went down there, went up and down the field. After San Diego got a chance to study that game tape, you see what? They made him look really foolish until late in the game, and they just started playing, they played prevent, and they let him back in the ball game. Skip, first of all, I don't believe that style can win you a championship. And if you look at, even when Tebow had success, Skip, he had success against teams. When they saw him the second time within his division, it didn't go well. Well, they've had a whole offseason to study what Lamar Jackson does really, really well and what he does really, really poorly. And what the great defensive coordinators do, they force you to your weak hand. So whatever you do bad, they're going to make you do that. And you're going to have to get good at that. And that's what the really great quarterbacks have been able to do. They reinvent themselves, and you try to force them to their weak hand, they're good with it. Lamar Jackson can't run that many times, Skip. There's no way.
Quick point of order. This man to my left was simply the best running quarterback ever.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it was very close
No.
because in Atlanta, the Michael Vick experience.
The Michael Vick
had
experience,
to
that
be
thing was
seen.
alive and well.
Hey.
Scary but fun.
The most you carried it in your career was in 2006 in Atlanta, and you carried it that year 123 times. You started all 16 games and carried it 123 times. The most you carried it in a single game was 15 times that year. Okay, just remember, Lamar started 6 games last year and carried it 24 more total times than Michael did in 16 games in your biggest rushing year.
That's crazy.
So this is revolutionary.
It ain't happening.
It's never even come close
No.
to happening. He only started 6 games
Yes.
and was running wild.
Yeah.
And I got to give the kid some credit. I thought he mostly protected himself pretty well. He took a couple of shots downfield, but I thought he had good self-preservation instincts where he would duck and give himself up, where you just have to, because you're not going to last very long.
Yeah.
But to me, even though I believe Lamar Jackson is a pretty good thrower of the football, pretty good, he is a great quarterback runner. And I don't throw that word around loosely. I'm not sure he's in your category as a elusive open field runner, but he can fly, man. And he has good instincts for how to, you have to be able to know when to go and feel your way through holes. And he's got all that because we saw it at Louisville again and again and again. He was a dominating player at Louisville for those,
he was
especially
unbelievable. The last 2 years,
The last 2 years. So my point is, I think he's the Ezekiel Elliott of quarterbacks in that you can't try to preserve him because you're going to take away what he does so great.
Yeah.
So I think his window is going to be a little shorter than most. He's not going to play Tom Brady years.
Right.
You know?
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, is what you do is that when you subject your quarterback to that hit, it affects his throwing.
Yeah.
He's not a running back because running backs can take pounding. They're not going to have to throw the football. You don't have to worry about their shoulders. You got to let a guy run like this. And when Cam ran 130, you got to realize Cam Newton was 6'5", between 250 and 260.
He was.
Lamar Jackson is 212.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a whole different ball game. You look at Zeke, people are like, but Zeke is 225, 230. Todd Gurley is 230. Saquon Barkley, 230. To run that many times, you need girth. You need oomph. And Lamar Jackson you run him over. What he ran last year, Skip, you're talking about 2-3 years. Then you're going to be back in the market looking for a quarterback.
And as a quarterback, even if you're a running quarterback or just a pocket passer quarterback, you come into the game not wanting to get hit.
Right.
Like my intentions, part of my fear was, okay, I'm gonna step into this game and I'm gonna do my very best. But man, I know I got this entire defense coming at me.
Right.
So the plan is not to get hit. You don't want to. And talking to James Urban, the quarterback coach, the plan was to let Lamar be as instinctive as he can be running the football, not a lot of design runs.
But that's the problem. They designed the runs. They're running quarterback power like they did with Cam. Remember, they had the quarterback power.
Yeah.
They pulled the guard, pulled the fullback, and then have your quarterback carrying the ball. They was doing it
with that.
If you're going to let if Mike drop back the pass, okay, he checks one, checks two, nothing there, he takes off, that's one thing. But, Skip, when you call a design quarterback draw, you call a design quarterback power, you ask for trouble.
You know what you're getting.
And I'm trying to tee off on you. I'm trying to split your wig because you're a runner, Skip. You're not a quarterback. You're a runner.
Now, if it's 3rd and 2, and you crossing the 50, I hear that call and I get excited as a quarterback.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna try to
Make
get
some
5
money.
to 6 and get down, and I'm not looking for the big one because the big one is not gonna come all the time. We run as mobile quarterbacks thinking that we can hit the big one. And the reality is, you're not going to get the big one every play.
You're
like
going to
you
get the big one, the big hit. That's what
Yeah, absolutely. I
That's
agree.
what you're going to get.
I
Looking
had
for
my
the big
fair share.
And by the time you got to Philly, you were starting to break down, man.
Yeah, I was more so, listening to Andy, detailed, passing game, move the ball quicker. Right. It was fun.
Right. And Lamar's a little taller than you, but y'all about to say, they listed you at 210. You wasn't 210, Mike. You about 200.
Well, that was 207.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
207.
And what are
we
you?
always got to stretch it.
6 feet, 207.
Yeah, man. 5'11", 3/4, 6 feet, whatever you want to give me, I'll take it.
A little bit higher. You and Lamar talked about this heading into the season?
we spoke. Yeah, we spoke about it, and he's super confident in what he can do, but he wanted to progress as a passer.
Yes, you got to. If you want longevity.
Baltimore has to let him do what he does best. You can't turn him into a pure pocket
No.
He won't survive that way either.
That's over time.
Right. You can't be RG3. One year you have success doing it one way. The next year you come in like, I'm going to be Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do anything. Nope, don't come. I'm Peyton Manning. No. It's a progression.
Okay, so maybe he has 5 good years as opposed to 20 Brady years.
He'll have one good year if he carries the ball on average like he carried it last year. One. He carried the ball over 200 times as a quarterback. Oh, yeah. It's over.
It's going to be difficult.
And you get so irritated because Tom Brady doesn't take any hits.
Tom Brady ain't
Get rid of it. Get
Ball
rid of
comes
it.
out of Tom's hands so fast.
Tom might have been hit 200 times total in his NFL career. Well, maybe a little more than that because he's gotten sacks, Skip. But can you imagine if Tom Brady took 270 hits in a season? Ain't no way he'd have played 20
He still
years.
He'll take a shot every once in a while.
And to your point earlier, when you get hit, you get up. You get hit, you get up. and it just takes a toll of your body over time, and you got to continue to you got to get stronger and stronger as the game go on as a quarterback in order to advance the ball down the field in the passing game. It's tough.
Okay, Michael, good stuff. It means football's around the corner with you back
I'm so
with
excited. I
us.
can't
It's exciting.
I can't wait.
Oh, good to have you. Skip, so I think you're fired up about something
Yeah.
an Eagle player
Yeah, bring him on.
said.
Whatever.
Jason
He's not
Peters,
happy.
where are you?
Skip, we're going to tell you why.
He's from Texas.
Huh? Well, he's about to be from Philly.
No mercy.
The Cowboys enter the season as the reigning NFC East champs, but that hasn't stopped the Eagles from trolling their division rivals. Philly offensive lineman Jason Peters was asked how he deals with Cowboys fans getting in his face, and he said, quote, "I tell them, you want to see the ring?" So, Skip, what is your reaction to that?
I'm going to try to be nice to Jason Peters because I respect him. He's a very good football player and has been for a long time. He's made 9 Pro Bowls, a couple of first-team All-Pros. He might even make it into the Hall of Fame at some point,
will.
right?
Yes.
But give me a break, Jason Peters.
What?
First of all, even though he is from a small town over on the Texas border of Louisiana, you realize as great as he's been, he got hurt that year in Week 7 of that Super Bowl year. He did not play another game. He didn't play in the playoffs. He did not play in that Super Bowl. I'll show you the ring. Oh, really? Well, we'll show you our 5 rings because we got 5 to your 1, Jason Peters. And by the way, the game you didn't play in, the Patriots should have won it, would have won it if Bill Belichick hadn't inexplicably, mysteriously benched his best defensive back, the player on defense who had played the most snaps through the regular season, Malcolm Butler, and allowed the backup quarterback for the Eagles to throw up 40 points? 40 points against Bill Belichick's vaunted defense?
Is that Jason Peters?
Oh, yeah. Well, he was watching. He's standing on the sidelines, right? And meanwhile, Tom Brady throws for an all-time playoff record 505 yards and puts up 33 points, and that's not enough thanks to Bill Belichick. So, Jason, why don't you show Bill Belichick your ring? Because he's the one who gave it to you, right? Seriously. And you know what? This is why I hate the Eagles. And I hate the word hate, but I've told you from the start, I've been a longtime Cowboy fan, and they have always been in our division, and I despise everything about the Eagles. I hate their colors, that earthy green that they wear, and I hate their unfounded, unearned arrogance. Every time they win a little something, they're like beating their chest. Oh, really?
Yeah, big something.
They stole the Super Bowl because of Bill Belichick. It's got an asterisk beside it. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't earn that. But the point is, so now they're beating their chest over one Super Bowl when that's all they've ever won as a franchise. One Super Bowl. And then we righted the wrong last year by winning the division for the second time in 3 years and beat their behinds twice. Yeah. Beat him in Philly and beat him at Jerry World.
Can I ask you a question?
And now he's saying, I just show him the ring. Really? We'll show you 5 Lombardis. What do you got?
Was anybody that's currently on the Cowboy roster in double digit as far as age when the last time y'all won a Super Bowl? Anybody on the roster?
We got 5 of them, so I'll just stand on that.
Y'all got guys that weren't even alive last time you won one.
I don't care.
No, I do.
I was alive.
We talking about you.
This is about me.
I
was alive.
Cowboy fans are not getting in your face. They're getting in this man's face.
Oh,
He's
please.
from Texas.
Oh, who cares?
I thought, hold on. He's from Texas.
He's disqualified. Just stay in Philly.
And he went to Arkansas. I thought Arkansans, they love Texas.
Yeah.
They love the Cowboys.
He was so good at Arkansas, he didn't even get drafted.
Whoa. Time
Way
out.
to go.
Harsh.
Hold on. The guy, hold on. He started as a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
He moved to tight end.
Yep.
Jenny, he was second team all-conference as a tight end. Moved to tackle, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. Some of the hidden gems. You know, John Randall wasn't even drafted.
Yep.
He in the Hall. Skip, stop this.
He's from Queen City, Texas.
City.
I thought the Queen City was Cincinnati. Is that what they always said? I don't know. That's what they call it.
No, they call the
Maybe he should move to Cincinnati. How about that?
Skip. Normally what they call the Queen City, I think if I'm not mistaken, the Queen City is the largest city that's not the capital. So therefore they call it the Queen. But anyway, I can't believe you would say you would do this, Skip. You would lash out with such harsh rhetoric rhetoric
And now
about
people
Jason.
are back on the Eagles bandwagon, including you
Eagles.
trying to drive it.
Eagles.
And finally, The Athletic came out with their power rankings yesterday, and Dallas had vaulted all the way up to number 9, 5-9.
Let me ask you a question.
Somebody is starting to see the light
you a question.
that my team is on the verge.
Let me ask you a question. Jen, I'm not really good with math, and my calculator's out on my phone. Is 9 better than 5? Because if I didn't know better, I could have swore the Eagles. I read that same article in The Athletic.
Is
they had the
9
Eagles,
better than 15 or 16 or 18? Because that's all the other power rankings. Dallas is 15th or 17th or 18th. How about that?
As they moved the Cowboys up,
Yep.
guess what that does? That pushed the Eagles up.
Really?
Eagles
Oh,
still on top.
they stayed right where they
They're
are.
still on top.
And they are the most overrated.
No, they're
Dallas
not.
is the most
No,
underrated.
they're not.
Yep.
The Cowboys should be
And
somewhere
by the
around
way,
like 14.
your guy walk it to him or limp it to him wins. Did he play in that Super Bowl?
No.
He didn't play at all.
They better be glad because he'd have hung 50 on them.
Really?
Oh, walking to him would have put 50.
Really?
And he'd have matched them throw for throw. He'd probably have 450.
And so how many playoff games has he started in his career?
This year.
None.
This year will be his
None.
first.
He's
This
played
year will
not
be
a
his first.
snap
This
in
is
the
it.
playoffs,
This
which
will-
means he will snap if he even gets to play in a playoff game.
This will be his first
Really?
this year. Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, Jason
I
Peterson.
wish Jason Peters would just shut it down.
Whoa, talk about
11 season.
He's like Cowboy fans jump in his face.
they don't.
Yeah, they do.
I thought that was a pretty tame way to say
Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, I
Cowboy
wanna
fans
be
are
rich.
classy and reserved and
No, Cowboy fans are delusional because every year it's the same thing. This is our year. Eventually, if you say something long, Skip, I don't care. If you play the lottery long enough, you'll win it.
Yeah.
Now, you might run out of days on this earth, but if you could live as long as they play the lottery, you would win it eventually.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys, eventually, you're going to be right. You've been wrong for 25 years.
Yep. Well, all I know is we are still America's team, and about half the time, the Eagles aren't even Philly's team.
Yeah, they are.
Because they are the quickest to boo in the National Football League.
Y'all in America's
And
team.
here comes
Patriots
Carson Wentz. I feel sorry for this
Patriots are
kid.
America's team.
Yeah? Oh, really?
Yep.
That's not what I read.
I don't
last
care
time.
what you read. You
I
read wrong.
think Dallas is most valuable franchise in the world.
See, there's again. See, people think value got to be the best. The Patriots are not the valuable, but what they do, Skip? They got, did you know, Skip, they got 6 rings and 9 appearances since the Cowboys last went to the Super Bowl?
Ooh, that's a harsh reminder over there, Shannon. Harsh reminder. You're not going to let this go from Peters, are you,
I'm
Skip?
not, but I love this because I want my team to read this and to put it up on
And
bulletin
they can't do
nothing
nothing about
boards
it.
and, you
They
know,
can't do nothing about it. Big Lane Johnson on the right side, Big JP on the left side.
Yeah.
Come get him if you want him.
Big
And
JP's 37 years of
and
age.
still kicking butt.
Really?
A 37-year-old kicking butt, putting butts in him.
Whose butt did he kick last year?
Y'all ain't
for the
getting
Cowboys?
it. Oh, you go see.
Huh?
He watching the show.
We got him twice last year.
Skip.
Wow.
My guy wasn't healthy.
Really?
He's healthy this
Oh,
year.
he wasn't healthy.
No.
My guy outplayed your guy both games.
We'll see
and
this
it wasn't
year.
even close.
We'll see this year.
Wow.
We'll see.
I can't wait to play your guy. Your
we
guy
gonna
just
win.
got the most guaranteed dollars in the whole
Deservedly
league.
so.
Really?
Yep.
Well, again, The Athletic said that my guy will crumble under that kind of a contract.
He will.
Your guy is the prime candidate. First home interception he throws, it'll be like, where's Nick Foles?
All I know is Harry Roseman and that organization believes in him because he had an option and they went ahead and gave him the money. Your guy is in the
Have you ever
last
heard
year.
of foolish pride?
Ain't no foolish
Because they bet their foolish pride on him by trading up for him. So obviously they plunged with the new contract to try to validate picking Carson Wentz.
And they got it right. They got it right.
Really?
Yep.
I've got a feeling this
Big
debate
trouble.
all season
Yeah, it's big trouble
is
for
going to
you.
be trouble for everyone.
Let Zeke
all
hold
around.
on to the
Between
season.
the Cowboys and
You
the
be groveling.
Eagles.
You
Did
be-
Jerry Jones take a shot at Zeke yesterday? We're going to tell you what he has been saying next.
No mercy.
Ezekiel Elliott is not at Cowboys training camp and will reportedly be training in Cabo instead. A Cowboys source told NFL Network that's, quote, not a good look for Zeke to be going to Cabo during his holdout. Dallas might need a running back, so yesterday they signed former Pro Bowler Alfred Morris. Also yesterday, Jerry Jones made some very interesting comments about Zeke's holdout. Take a listen.
You don't have to have a rushing champion to win a Super Bowl, but Emmett was the first one to do it. And that's one of the dilemmas at running back is that the league knows that you can win Super Bowls and not have the Emmitt Smith back there or not have Zeke back there. Consequently, when we are looking and putting Zeke's contract in place, we've got to realize that the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. And so you've got to do all of the things along with having Zeke that allow you to have other players so that you can win the Super Bowl. And that's what we're going through.
Well. We are joined by Fox NFL analyst Mark Schlereth. Good to have you with us. What
Great
do
to be
those
here.
comments from Jerry mean, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, Jerry is 100% right. You don't have to have the rushing champion to win the Super Bowl. I don't know that the Cowboys have ever won the Super Bowl without the rushing champion, but you don't have to have the rushing champion to win the Super Bowl.
Well, they have. The first two they did.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Go ahead.
I think the point being is, but that's how you built this team.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you built this team to be dominant up front, to be able to run the ball, to be able to control the line of scrimmage. That's how you've built this team.
Okay.
Like, there are a lot of teams this is me, a lot of teams that can lead the league in rushing, but don't know how to run the ball. And that sounds counterintuitive, but what you get are a lot of empty yards. You see teams that lead the league in rushing, but they spread everybody out. They get a quality two-man side on 3rd down and 6. They pop a 27-yard draw, and they think that they're great at running the ball. The point being is that when you have to run the ball, you have to, in my opinion, to be great in the playoffs and to win championships, when you have to run it, you damn well better be able to run it. I think the New England Patriots had 9 touchdowns rushing on their way to winning a championship. They had a fullback in on every one of those, and they crammed it down the throats of their opponents. That's running the ball when you have to run the ball. That's running the ball in the end zone. That's running the ball in the red zone. That's running the ball in 3rd down in short situations or 2nd down in short situations. So there's a difference between leading the league in rushing with empty yards and understanding how to run the ball. And with Zeke, they understand how to run the ball, and that, to me, is imperative.
Jerry just trying to play hardball. Guess what else you don't need? A number 1 receiver, Jerry, to win a championship. Because the New England Patriots got 6 of those. They didn't have any. What about the New Orleans Saints? They didn't have one. Guess what, Skip? There's a lot of things you can win a Super Bowl without. But when you build it a certain way, you need it. And you built your team. You drafted the guy with the 4th overall pick. He's led the league in rushing 2 of the 3 years he's been there, and if he doesn't miss 6 games, he leads it all 3 years. That's the way you built your roster. Number 1 draft, a top 10 pick at left tackle. Zach Martin, a top pick. Travis Frederick, top pick. Okay.
Ty Smith.
Ty Smith was the left tackle.
Right.
Okay, Skip. You got 3 first-round offensive linemen.
Yep.
What are you trying? You draft a running back in the 1st round, in the 4th pick overall. What are you telling the league what you're doing? They heard Mel Kiper say, the running back position is devalued. But they still took him. Now they want to, the league says, or they're devaluing the. I don't care about the league. Mark, you was in this league when does Jerry Jones ever cared about what else the league was doing? That's why he signed his own deal. He went with Pepsi when everybody else was with Coca-Cola. He signed a deal unilaterally with Nike. Got Nike banned for 10 years and the league went with Reebok. NFL, Nike got back in, but that's neither here nor there. Ticketmaster. Who's the official ticket hub of the NFL? Ticketmaster. Who's the Dallas Cowboys, Skip? SeatGeek.
Who's the number 1 Cowboy hater in the world? He's sitting right there. So keep on piling on. Keep trying. This is your only hope. You need dissension. You need contractual confusion and chaos in Dallas, right? That's your only hope.
Pay it.
I must admit, I hate this. I fear this because Ezekiel Elliott is blowing this. He is playing this so wrong because all of a sudden he pushed Jerry far enough. Jerry just declared negotiating war on Zeke.
Okay.
I knew it was coming because I really know the psyche of Jerry Jones. He's got a huge ego, but more than that, he is so stubbornly proud. He is now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he's got 5 Lombardi trophies in his office, 3 that he won.
Yeah.
And he believes he has a Super Bowl team, and everybody showed up to start going to work on that Super Bowl season except for one guy. And I didn't see this coming because I don't think Jerry saw it coming. And not only did 21 stay in Dallas, he just went to Cabo. And it's okay to go to Cabo when you're suspended for 6 games, but Jerry Jones, as I told Shannon earlier in the show, he can be the nicest guy in the world or he can get the maddest in the world of anybody I've ever been around. And the fuse is short, and it just went. He just exploded into negotiating mode. And again, I keep telling this man, when it comes to Jerry Jones, you can catch more flies or dollars with honey than you can with vinegar. Zeke just went vinegar, and he just tossed it right in Jerry's face. And Jerry's response was, okay, watch this. I'll start statting you to death. I'll start making the case publicly against you, because you can make a case against
We don't
Zeke.
negotiate publicly.
Yeah.
And I drink apple cider vinegar every day.
Do you
drink
really?
that
It's good
kombucha
for you.
too.
It is good
But
for
Skip,
you.
you know what?
Yeah, but you drink it. This is throwing it in his face.
You know what? I'm 51. I've been working 46 years. I started as a 5-year-old working in the tobacco fields, walking behind the tobacco picker. And in all my 46 years, you know what has not happened to me, Skip? Not one time has my boss come to me and say, Shannon, we want to redo your contract. Every time I've had to ask, from working for $1 a day to try to get that to $1.50 to $2. You know what I'm saying, Skip Bayless? That's what. So you think if Zeke just shows up and just goes about his business, Jerry like, we gonna take care of you.
You don't know Jerry.
Yeah, I know Jerry.
I know Jerry.
Yo.
You think you know Jerry.
I know Jerry.
Jerry's got the biggest, softest heart. If a player walks up, especially a superstar, and puts his arm around Jerry and they walk arm in arm off the practice field out in Oxnard, Jerry's going to say, you know what, we got to take care of this. We got to get this done. That's how you do business. Did anybody else have to, all those offensive linemen, did any of those guys hold out to get their big, huge contracts? Nope. Did DeMarcus Lawrence hold out to get his deal? Nope.
He threatened to have surgery.
He did not.
Say, I'm going to push this surgery back
There was no
to
holdout.
June.
There was no animosity. It did not get ugly.
Zeke is not animus towards
Okay.
him. Zeke is, hey, Cabo, how can you be mad at somebody in Cabo?
That was
Stadium?
a shot fired.
Here's the deal, though. I mean, Zeke is coming from this, and I understand. I mean, you got to get paid. And he's been put in a very tough position because how, as a running back in this league, do you get to that second contract? Do you get to the big money stage? You know, obviously Todd Gurley signs a big deal last year, makes it as an MVP candidate for about 12 games, hurts his knee, and then, you know, falls off the map and doesn't play well throughout the playoffs, in the Super Bowl. Like, that's an issue. And you're looking at him having 2 years, this year and next year, left on that contract. And if you want, you can franchise the guy.
I mean, you got 4 years.
4 years.
You can
Right.
control him.
So he has zero.
Except the holdout. That's his only leverage.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
What's his other option?
Butter him up, rub his elbows, just get up next to him. I know how Jerry works. Yeah, I'll give you your money. Jerry would have figured it out during training camp. He would have taken care of Dak first. I believe Zeke would have been second, and Amari would be sometime during
Zeke
the
said,
season.
I want to be first because
Yeah.
I'm most in harm's way. And Zeke said, you know what? I don't want any cavities, so I don't want honey. You go and give me my money without me buttering you up and offering
Once
you
upon
honey.
a time, I was right in the middle of it. Jimmy pushed Jerry too far. I'm talking about Jimmy Johnson. And he pushed, and he insulted him privately in front of front office staffers and assistant coaches to the point Jerry finally said, that's enough. Life is too short. You're fired. He just won 2 Super Bowls. He was fired. Will that ever happen again in the history of this league? Nope. That's what that's what makes him tick. Stubbornly proud. Emmitt Smith pushed him right over the edge, and Emmitt missed the first 2 games.
Come groveling back.
Yeah. Who came groveling back? I think Emmitt groveled just as much as Jerry did.
Think if you hold out, if say you make an X, and they give you $10 over what you're asking for, you won. Because you said you weren't going to give me anything. You told me to play up under the contract that I was obligated.
No, you didn't. He never said that.
Yeah, he did.
He's going to give him his money.
Another way he should have gave it to him
Listen,
early. He would have lost those 2 games.
The Rams made the most foolish deal with Todd Gurley in the history of the running back position.
No, it wasn't.
They like insanely overpaid for that position, and it bit them at the end of the year because he couldn't finish.
Let me tell you
right? Does he not have arthritic knees?
We don't know that to be certain.
Okay, well,
but let me tell you what's going to be.
Everybody's got arthritic knees. So you play this game, you got arthritic knees.
But guess what's going to be more foolishly? Giving a guy $35 million, that's the middle of the pack.
Now we're up to 35.
Now
Oh, we were 30. We were like 25, then it went to 30, then it went to 35.
No, 30 is entry level. It's kind of like living in Bel Air. Bel Air is like $10 million. That's entry level home.
Even if he does come back, and let's say he misses the first 2 weeks, even if he does come back and doesn't have a contract, you know what? To me, the wear and tear he saved on his body through training camp, through the preseason games,
That's
through all the
60
things,
carries.
I'm like, he wins. So, I mean, you made your
You
point.
think Le'Veon won? He missed the whole year last year,
fresh.
and now he's a
We'll
Jet.
see. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
it'll be
y'all
interesting
you
to
trying
see.
to put to put 400 carries on the man.
Yeah, and what was about to happen to Le'Veon before the Jets saved his behind? Nobody wanted him. The market had dried up, and the Jets were bidding against themselves and gave him 13.1 to Gurley's 14.4.
And guess what? You're gonna have to pay him $1 more than Todd Gurley, and you're bidding against yourself because he's under contract with you. Nobody else can bid on
Well,
him.
obviously, Zeke and his reps are asking for well beyond the insane money the Rams gave Todd Gurley.
Yes.
$45 million guaranteed, 14.4 per year. So they're asking for God knows what, $70 million guaranteed. I don't know.
This is the way you do it. This is what we do. This is the way we do it. Skip, Jenny, you let your boy get you.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot for the moon. I'm gonna shoot for the stars. But if I land on the moon, I'm pretty damn high. I'm gonna ask for way more than Todd
I
Gurley.
just think you're high right now. What you're
Aren't
talking
the
about,
reports
right?
saying that they haven't even come back
No.
with a counter to the
Because y'all
offer?
you know why? Because they came with some bull jive. We can't
So
even
they're
count
not
the
even
bull
gonna
jive.
talk
No, I
about
ain't
that.
gonna even respond to that. Y'all trying to give me Tevin Campbell's money. Really? I mean, yeah, Tevin. Yeah, Campbell.
Do you realize
Coleman.
what?
No. The guy that's in Atlanta. What's his Devontae Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devontae
You
Freeman.
try to give me Devontae Freeman money.
That's
I wish I might.
8 a year.
I
think.
wish I
Okay?
might take 8 a
So
year.
here's why Jerry is stewing privately, because he walked out to the end of the limb and he defended and tried to protect this young man when he went through all the stuff he went through off the field. I know of 2 bar fights. There may have been more, but Jerry was right there with him, fighting for him. I got your back.
Skip, I really appreciate that.
And then there were all the domestic violence issues, and there was pulling the woman's top down, and then there was the incident in
Bumping
Las
security,
Vegas,
yeah. Skip,
and Jerry stood right beside him, right behind him, fought. I've never seen Jerry fight harder for a player than he did. He was putting his reputation on the line. There's nothing here to see. Remember what he said? There's nothing there.
Yeah.
He fought Lisa Friel. He fought Roger Goodell. He fought over the Las Vegas incident. There's nothing there. And finally, they won. I think they got a makeup call on the Vegas incident a little bit. Well, okay, I'm going to look the other way this time. But Jerry did all that for that player who he loves. And all of a sudden, that player turned on him and in Jerry's eyes spit in his face by going to Cabo. Really?
Skip, Zeke
Okay,
said, yeah,
that's why the anger is even deeper and stronger now than it would be for any other player because of what he had done for Zeke, and he thought, this is the way you repay me? Really? Okay. So wait a second. Is Dak holding out? No. Is Amari holding it? Nope. Byron Jones? No, they're all there.
Yeah,
except for 21.
They're not holding out because, one, the longevity of those guys and the positions they play, they're going to get their contract.
But they could. Dak could say, I want my money, right? He could hold out.
Dak will get an opportunity to have 3-4 contracts. Zeke basically, Skip, he knows. He knows.
You know the position. You get one more contract. That's all you're going to get.
Going at it wrongly. This is the one man you do not push publicly into a corner because he'll fight back.
We didn't say anything.
Okay? What do you mean we didn't?
We didn't say
now,
anything.
now you're on Zeke's side?
Yeah,
you're on
You're a we right now?
We didn't say anything. We just going to
Talking
Cabo.
about.
I don't know how they get our travel itinerary. Maybe we leaked that to the media. But hey, we in Cabo.
Maybe he just waltzed
just
down
going to Cabo.
to the gate at DFW Airport. That's what he did.
We doing our Skip. We living our best
Okay?
life.
Fly
we ain't bothering
private.
nobody.
You can't even fly private.
No! Skip, I didn't tell you when you hold out, you don't excess expense, you don't do that. Because this thing might linger. You don't take no
Really?
private jet.
No, you get on Southwest.
Yeah.
Somehow
You
I
go
don't
right
see
to
Southwest,
Zeke
I'm getting on Spirit.
on
Are you?
No, you're
Yeah,
not.
they got no flight attendant.
You are not getting on
I'm getting on Spirit.
There's
They got
no
no flight
way.
attendants?
Just
You don't
fend
need
for
no flight
yourself.
attendant.
Do they have a pilot?
Yeah, they got a pilot.
I
But
hope
It's
so.
a robot, though.
Yeah.
It's a robot
Yeah.
pilot.
yeah, but he learned at home. He learned how to fly a plane at home on YouTube.
We do not need any of Spirit Airlines in the mix. It's kind of harsh. But my mom works for Delta, so I got to defend
I
the better
know.
airlines.
I like
So
that. Hey.
either way.
No, Delta was wrong. Delta kicked me off a flight.
What?
Yeah,
They
they kicked me off a
did?
flight. Yeah.
What'd you do?
And in my memo, aisle seat, non-bulkhead. And what they do, Jenny? Put me in the aisle bulkhead. Delta, I'm mad about that. I'm a million miler. Y'all need to make this right with me.
So
Who
you
do I need
threw
to
a little
call?
fit?
I do not. No, Skip. No. I can't throw no fit. I got to be good because you know how I am. Sometimes
yeah.
I get over. Boys,
But they-
in 2019, I was like, Shannon, You're not going to be as, you're going to be calm. Be melanated and say, Shannon, you got to calm down. It's
How's
not
that
that
going
serious.
for you?
I'm doing really well. I
Wait,
let my sister handle it.
you got ushered off the flight?
No.
Oh, I thought you said they just changed it. Okay,
They sent me. I'm looking. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave it this time. And I'm like, hold on. So I'm yelling. I'm like, hold on. I'm in bulkhead. I'm yelling at my
Not a good
sister.
sign.
Yeah, so Delta need to make it right, Jenny.
Okay.
Why
Well,
can't
it's been
Jenny's mom
said.
fix that?
If Mary was there, it never would have happened.
No.
She would not
Ooh,
have
bulkhead.
allowed it.
I can't fly 4 hours
You
ease up
Sure
against.
can't fit.
How can you calm down on this show? I will not allow it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I ain't gonna
sure.
calm down on you. But Delta, I got to fly, Skip. I got to fly.
Okay.
I will come here every day. And I need to fly, Jenny. You know what I'm saying? I can't act up on Delta.
Yeah, okay.
But Delta, I
Good
know
to
y'all gonna make it right. I know y'all watching. Somebody in Delta watching this show.
Somebody's watching.
So y'all make it right.
All right, good to
2
know.
tickets.
Either way, Zeke, I think he flew private. Moral of the story. Mark, good to have
thank
you.
you.
Maybe he'll be back from Cabo soon.
No, take your time, Zeke.
Why is John Gruden already putting pressure on his rookie
Good
running
question.
back? We're talking about running backs. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
The Raiders had 3 first-round picks in this year's draft, and they used one of them on Alabama running back Josh Jacobs. He was asked what his new coach has been telling him, and Jacobs said, quote, Gruden is telling me we expect you to win Rookie of the Year. So, Shannon, do you like that message from Coach Gruden?
I do, Skip, because when I talk to guys, I always say, whatever you're trying to accomplish, be it Rookie of the Year, you want to win the Heisman, Buckets, Lombardi, do that. But as long as you understand the team success is the most important. I believe what John Gruden is telling this young man, if you have success, if you win Rookie of the Year, Skip, we're going to be very successful as a team. I believe that's what he's trying to do to this guy. And he gets it and sometimes it's not necessarily catching a touchdown pass or running for a first down. Sometimes you got to carry out your ball fake. Sometimes you got to pick up a blitz of a blitzing linebacker or a defensive guy or get a chip block on a defensive lineman that's come free. It's all those little things. I understand. John Gruden has been at this long enough. He understands that guys have different, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, all this and all that. But at the end of the day, when you play a team sport, team success is most important. And I believe what he's trying to do is to motivate this guy, saying, if you have the type of season that I believe you can have, not only is it going to equate to us winning a lot of games, it will also equate to you winning Rookie of the Year. So I have no problem with John Gruden.
And you have no problem that John Gruden has gone public with that.
They put a lot of pressure on him, boy.
I'd say.
But
Yep.
Skip, he's a top pick, so the pressure's there to begin with.
So, the most interesting game of the year to me was to watch my Oklahoma Sooners against the Alabama Crimson Tide in the national semifinal. And Josh Jacobs of the Crimson Tide, who, by the way, went unrecruited by the University of Oklahoma out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you
It
could
was
please
too late.
explain that. Can you please? Because he really wowed me because he
special.
can run and he can rip and slash. And he caught a swing pass for a 27-yard touchdown and ran over my safety. I'm not going to speak his name because it's just not fair. But
Where's the highlight? I'm looking for the highlights.
oh,
Oh, you didn't want-
ask
oh,
for
you-
that one. I didn't want to see it
Don't
because
need
it's
it.
not fair to my kids.
Don't need
My defense wasn't worthy, but still, the
new
point
year.
was that made it 28-0, and he was killing my team because he ran for 98 yards. He caught 60 yards worth of passes. And so that's a total of 158 total yards. He was a ball of destruction
Yeah, and
that night.
it would have been worse had the Sooners could have kept it closer early. Skip, I think that in what is working in his favor, Derek Carr, I don't think he's a top guy, but he's a good quarterback. And you have Antonio Brown. They got the other receiver, I think Tyrell Williams from the Chargers.
They did.
So they got 2 receivers outside that can take coverage down the field. It's going to be very difficult for you to drop that safety down in the box because you're going to have to deal with AB outside, who's very motivated to show that he's more than Ben Roethlisberger. So you're getting a guy that's very, very motivated. This guy can have success, and I believe what John Gruden is saying. If you have the type of success that I believe you can have, we're going to be successful. And your reward is not only team success, but the writers will think you've been the Rookie of the Year. So I got no problem with that.
So the Raiders picked Cleveland Farrell with the 4th overall pick. I'll roll with that. That was a little high, but I think he might live up to that. And then with the 24th overall pick, they took this young man, Josh Jacobs, and then 27th pick, they took Jonathan Abram, the safety out of Mississippi State. I think those are 3 really good picks, especially the running back. But what did we also see that night of that semifinal? I saw my team win the second half 24-14 because my quarterback started lighting up the Crimson Tide. And my quarterback threw and ran for a grand total of 417 yards. His name is Kyler Murray, and he went first overall, and he also scored 3 touchdowns in that game. So here's the point. As great as I think Josh Jacobs will be right out of the box as a rookie running back, there's no way he's going to win Rookie of the Year over Kyler Murray plus Cliff Kingsbury equals Rookie of the Year. I'm sorry, you can't beat that.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury equals normally losing. That's what we've seen from Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay.
Because didn't he get fired from Texas Tech?
Yeah, he did.
So how do you fall up?
Can he,
I thought you fall down, Jen. I've never seen anybody fall
works out
into a
sometimes.
standing position.
can he coach offense? Spread you out, score points
Is he
offense.
just coaching offense? Is he an O coordinator or is he a head coach? I just need to know, Skip. I'm not sure right now.
He is an O coordinator.
Okay.
And I think that his scheme will work at this level, and I think Kyler Murray will really work at this level. We're just talking about Rookie of the Year. We're not talking about winning a playoff game.
Well, you gotta
We're not
win.
talking about winning the division. We're not talking about winning even 5 games this year because they play a really difficult schedule. But I think Kyler will put up enough numbers that he will outlast Josh Jacobs for Rookie
Well, you
of
thought
the Year.
you know, guess what? You thought that about Baker Mayfield. And old Saquon got that award, right?
Yeah,
and who won more games? Baker Mayfield or Saquon? And weren't both hold on. If I'm not mistaken, was Baker number 1 overall?
Yeah. Well, Baker won more games.
You know, and guess what? Did he win Rookie of the Year?
Should have.
Now I'm talking about what should have happened, Skip.
3 of the last 4 have been running backs, actually.
Okay.
But I thought it's devalued. How do these guys keep winning this award when the position is so devalued, Jenny? I'm confused.
Okay, put your pride on the line, Hall of Famer. Who you got for Rookie of the Year? I got Kyler.
I ain't choosing the Raiders to do nothing. They're in the
No.
division with my Broncos.
Okay. Who you got?
Rookie of the Year.
Anybody other than.
Daniel Jones?
Okay.
You like him?
I should
Who you
laugh.
got?
I feel like that's so rude. I just laughed when you mentioned
Daniel
his
Jones, Sam Jones, Casey Jones, nobody.
name. Not very nice to me.
So you don't have a Rookie of the Year because you know I'm right
No, you
again.
don't. You said that about Baker. I took Saquon last year.
I told you before that draft, I'm taking Baker number 1 overall, and
Yeah.
you laughed at me. It's Sam Darnold, it's Josh Allen.
And Baker was unbelievable. But my guy, Saquon.
Oh, now he's your guy? I thought Baker was your guy.
He is.
I thought you were driving that bus.
No. For Rookie of the Year, Skip, I guess, look. 2 things can be true. I like Baker. I think Baker's going to be great moving forward. But last year, I took Saquon.
Kyler Murray
And you
will
just-
be must-see TV
You just
this
going.
year.
You just went with Baker and Kyler because they're Oklahoma. That's it. Yeah.
Did I go to Sam Bradford his year? I laughed at it. I scoffed at it.
Ah,
I
man,
said
Sam
the
Bradford's
St. Louis
scary.
Rams are out of their minds to take him first overall.
Did you have Dak in 2016?
No, but who did?
Hey,
but I
Alabama.
listen,
I know.
I did drive his bandwagon
Once you saw
on
it.
ESPN.
You said you
through that
saw
whole year.
something
Oh,
special.
you were
preseason.
doing
You mentioned
good.
that
And then
today.
the bandwagon crashed in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
baby.
exactly. A lot of dreams down there. A lot of dreams down there, Skip. Everybody
Unless you're LSU.
unless you what you call them, Cam or
Okay.
Johnny.
Carmelo Anthony still wants to play, but will any team give him a shot? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Carmelo Anthony still hasn't gotten a chance since Houston released him early last season, but Melo's trainer said he still wants one more shot before calling it quits. The trainer said Melo just wants one final season and a farewell tour like Dwayne Wade had, and he's holding out hope that this will still happen. Shannon, will any team give him a shot?
It's just hard to see for me. It didn't work well in OKC. Houston was really a disaster because Melo was unwilling to adjust his style of play and realize that at his age, he was a role player. He still thought he was going to be the de facto guy. I hate to see him because it seems like his trainer is begging. LeBron is an outlier. You know, D. Wade, everybody from that draft, with the exception of Kyle Korver and LeBron James, has retired. Kyle Korver has been a role player for an extended period of time.
True.
And Bron is an outlier, Skip. I hope, but I don't. I wouldn't bet any money that he signs with someone this year.
I like Carmelo, but I'm sorry to inform him this ship has sailed. He got his last shot in Oklahoma City with Russ and Paul George. Didn't work. And then he got another last shot with James Harden and CP3 in Houston, and it lasted about a second, right?
Yeah, why does guys wait till the very last minute
I
to
don't
realize
So would Memphis, the worst team in basketball, take Carmelo as like a reserve sideshow to sell a few tickets? Isn't that beneath Carmelo's dignity?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to see.
12-time All-Star.
Yeah.
You won gold medals.
Yeah.
Bro, you've had a great career.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.